Chapter 809. After the immortal realm was unified, Morong Yu became the master of the immortal realm, the absolute overlord. At this point, Morong Yu was finally at ease because there was no one in the immortal realm who could threaten him. Morong, you've already controlled 32 cultivation realms, there are still 4 more that you haven't controlled. I think that once you control all 36 cultivation realms, there will be a surprise. In a beautiful scenic spot in Cheongtian cultivation realm, Morong Yu and Zhao Jiqing were lying there leisurely, enjoying the beautiful scenery. Ever since he unified the immortal realm, Morong Yu handed Shengzhen over to Zhang Ao and the others, and he became a hands-off boss. At the same time, he took the opportunity to bring Zhao Jiqing and the others around the world, living a carefree life. You have this feeling too? Morong Yu looked at Zhao Jiqing in shock. In fact, Morong Yu had this feeling for a long time. He vaguely felt that once he controlled the 36 cultivation realms, something would happen and it would be beneficial to him. Unfortunately, he didn't find the other 4 enforcers of the cultivation realms in the immortal realm. After Morong Yu controlled more cultivation realms than normal, he could sense the existence of the other enforcers in the immortal realm. Now that he controlled 32 cultivation realms, he couldn't sense the other 4 cultivation realms in the immortal realm. There were only 2 possibilities. The first was that the 4 cultivation realms had been killed and the origin energy had returned to their cultivation realms, but the new enforcers hadn't ascended to the immortal realm yet. The second possibility was that the 4 enforcers were hiding in their cultivation realms and not coming out. Regardless of the situation, Morong Yu would need a very long time to take control of the 4 cultivation worlds. Zhao Jiqing shook her head. I just feel that there must be some special connection between the 36 cultivation realms, and it will only appear after I control them all. Morong Yu nodded. Big gangster, do you think the immortal realm also has an enforcer? Yu Mengqing suddenly asked as she approached. Morong Yu was stunned, and then his expression changed. One must know that the Heavenly Punisher Palace exists in both the immortal world and the immortal world. The Heavenly Punishing Palace in the immortal world controlled the punishers of the 36 cultivation world. Since there were punishers in the cultivation world, would there be similar punishers in the immortal world? If the immortal realm truly has a punisher, Morong Yu's heart suddenly sank. He was the enforcer of the cultivation world, so he understood how terrifying an enforcer's control over the world was. As long as he was willing, he could kill anyone in the cultivation world with just a thought, regardless of their strength. If the immortal world also had enforcers, then they would definitely have this kind of power. Most importantly, it seemed that only the Heavenly Punisher Palace had enforcers. And now Morong Yu had killed that enforcer. If there really was an enforcer, then although Morong Yu was very strong and had reached 10 million Earth Dragon strength, he would definitely not be a match for that enforcer. Zhao Jiqing and the other 2's faces also changed. Clearly, they had also thought of this problem. If this was really the case, then this matter was serious. Don't worry, there shouldn't be any enforcers in the immortal world. Otherwise, would they just watch as I unify the immortal world? Morong Yu suddenly said with a smile. Really? Yu Mengqing asked in return. Morong Yu nodded with a smile on his face, without a trace of worry. But was Morong Yu really not worried at all? In fact, he vaguely felt a trace of danger in his heart. He knew that there were enforcers in the cultivation world, so there must be one in the immortal world as well. As for why the enforcer had not come out to interfere this time, there must be a reason. Perhaps the enforcer of the Yan Huang immortal world was in seclusion in the immortal world, or he could not leave for the time being, or he could not be bothered to interfere in this matter. But no matter what, the enforcer of the Yan Huang immortal world was like an incomparably sharp divine weapon that often floated above Morong Yu's head. Perhaps one day, he would fall and cut Morong Yu in half. I have to hurry and find the other 4 enforcers of the cultivation world. Perhaps only by gathering the power of the origin of the 36 cultivation worlds can I connect with the power of the immortal world. Murong Yu thought in his heart and secretly made up his mind. In fact, ever since Shenzhen had unified the immortal world, Murong Yu had tried to sense the power of the immortal world's origin. But unfortunately, the power of the Yan Huang immortal world's origin did not care about Murong Yu at all. The immortal world definitely had the power of the cultivation world's origin. The reason why it did not care about Murong Yu must be that Murong Yu was not qualified to contact it. Perhaps only by gathering the power of the origin of the 30 cultivation worlds can I connect with it. If not, then I will ascend to immortality as soon as possible. Who cares if he is an enforcer? I will go to the immortal world and kill him. Murong Yu made up his mind. He did not want an enforcer to constantly threaten him, his family and friends. In the following time, Murong Yu and the 3 girls wandered around the immortal world and many other cultivation worlds as if nothing had happened. During this process, Murong Yu had confirmed that the other 4 enforcers of the cultivation world were not dead, but were hiding in their own cultivation world. On this day they came to the Huaxia cultivation world. I have something to deal with in the next few days, so I can't accompany you. The 3 of you can go and have fun by yourselves. Other than the Tomb of the Gods, go anywhere else. Don't worry about danger. Murong Yu kissed Zhao Jiqing and the others on their foreheads and disappeared in a flash. After Murong Yu left, Yu Mengqing hurriedly said to Zhao Jiqing and Mu Liue, Sister Jiqing, did you notice that the big hooligan seemed to have something on his mind? Although he hid it well, there was something on his mind. However, he did not show it all these years because he did not want us to worry. Zhao Jiqing said faintly. The 3 girls had been with Murong Yu for a long time. Although Murong Yu hid it well, they still found out. Is it because of the immortal world's enforcers? It's all my fault. If I didn't mention it that day, the big hooligan would not be like this. Yu Mengqing said with some self-blame. It's not your fault. Even if you didn't say it, the little man would know. Moreover, he must have always been thinking about the immortal world's enforcers. He just hasn't faced it yet. Sisters, if the immortal world really has enforcers, what should we do? The big hooligan and even we will be in great danger. Yu Mengqing was anxious. There's nothing we can do. Our strength is still too weak, we can't help Murong. Zhao Jiqing sighed, her eyes flashing with a touch of worry. If we are not strong enough, we can cultivate. Sisters, I'm going to cultivate. I must become strong as soon as possible. If anyone dares to harm the big hooligan, I will destroy them. Yu Mengqing said with a murderous look and then went to cultivate. Let's not fall behind. Zhao Jiqing and Mu Liue looked at each other and then disappeared. In the origin space of the Huaxia self-cultivation world, Murong Yu was communicating with the origin gates of the 32 self-cultivation worlds he controlled. Can you really transfer me to the mystery world and the other self-cultivation worlds? Murong Yu asked with some hesitation. The enforcers of the mystery world and the other self-cultivation worlds were holed up in their self-cultivation world. Murong Yu had no chance to subdue them. His only chance was to rush into their self-cultivation world. Murong Yu could enter their self-cultivation world alone, but he would not choose to enter the self-cultivation worlds with enforcers unless it was the last moment. Even though he was strong and had reached 10 million Earth Dragon power, he was not weak at all. However, if he entered the mystery world, he would definitely be destroyed by the enforcers of the mystery world. Moreover, if Murong Yu didn't want to control the other self-cultivation worlds, he could have just destroyed them. The enforcers are invincible in their self-cultivation worlds. However, as long as you catch them off guard, you can just rush over and destroy them. The origin of the star self-cultivation world said indifferently. Murong Yu frowned slightly. With his strength, it would not be difficult for him to kill an enforcer in a self-cultivation world. However, the key was to not let them react before he destroyed them. Otherwise, Morong you would be the one to be killed. We can sense the Enforcer's existence. Then, we can gather the power of the 32 of us and send you directly to the Enforcer. You just need to kill him. The origin of the Huaxia self-cultivation world seemed to know what Morong Yu was thinking and said. However, if you can't kill him in one blow, you must retreat immediately. Otherwise, you will be in danger. The origin of the mysterious sky self-cultivation world spoke. The enforcer of the mysterious sky self-cultivation world was originally Feng Ro. Later, Feng Ro gave the origin to Morong Yu. Now, Feng Ro was naturally part of Shenzhen. In that case, let's kill our way over. Morong Yu's eyes flashed. The enforcer of the immortal world gave him a lot of pressure. He urgently wanted to get rid of this pressure, and increasing his strength was naturally the best way to do so. 3 days later, the enforcers had already sensed the location of the enforcer of the mysterious sky self-cultivation world. Let's tear space apart. Morong Yu indifferently said. Then, the 32 origins of the self-cultivation world under Morong Yu's control moved. In the boundless starry sky, a huge spatial passage suddenly extended from the Huaxia self-cultivation world. It bypassed countless stars and finally connected to the mysterious sky self-cultivation world. Mysterious sky self-cultivation world on Mysterious Peak. The enforcer of the mysterious sky self-cultivation world was cultivating in seclusion. However, all of a sudden, he felt the entire Taishan world of cultivation tremble violently. At the same time, the source of the Taishan world of cultivation began to ring in his mind. Enemy invasion! Enemy invasion! Extreme danger! Extreme danger! The enforcer of the mysterious sky self-cultivation world was so shocked that he couldn't react for a moment. Right at this moment, an extremely huge spatial passageway suddenly appeared in the sky above him. Chapter 8:10. Seeing the incomparably huge spatial tunnel, a powerful and dangerous aura erupted from the spatial tunnel and directly locked onto him. The enforcer of the Zenith Mystery World was dumbfounded and didn't know how to react. In fact, he didn't expect that anyone in the Taishan cultivation world would dare to attack him. Even if someone sneaked up on him, with his strength as an immortal venerable and the enforcer of this cultivation world, the attacker wouldn't succeed. Therefore, when he saw someone sneak up on him, he didn't think much of it. Because of this, his reaction was a beat slower. But soon, he found that he was wrong. He was ridiculously wrong. Bang! A huge hand suddenly came out of the void with a destructive aura. It contained an aura that made the souls of the enforcers of the mystery world tremble. It quickly slapped down. At this moment, an extremely strong aura of death rose from the bottom of the enforcer's heart. He instantly knew that the person who sneaked up on him was a great threat to his life, and he was very likely to be killed. At this moment, he finally came to his senses. He roared and was about to use the power of the Taishan cultivation world to kill the attacker. But his reaction was still a beat slower. Or rather, the attacker was too fast. When he roared, the big hand had already slapped down. Bang! The poor punisher of the Grand Mystery World didn't even have time to use his power before he was smashed into a mist of blood. He couldn't be more dead. After the Taishan world of cultivation was killed, the entire Taishan world of cultivation changed. Blood clouds rolled and blood rain filled the sky. At the same time, on the Taishan peak, after the enforcer was killed, a mass of gray energy shot out from the bloody mist and flew toward the sky. "Where are you going?" Morong Yu roared and strode out of the void. His huge hand reached for the origin energy of the Taishan cultivation world. At the same time, the origin energy of the 32 cultivation worlds in Morong Yu's body burst out and chased after it. Rumble, Morong Yu's speed was extremely fast. In an instant, he had enveloped the ball of origin energy. At the same time, the rules of space burst out and imprisoned the nearby space. He absolutely could not let this ball of origin energy escape. Once it escaped, they would be able to enter the origin space. At that time, Morong Yu wouldn't be able to subdue it even if he wanted to. The origin energy was extremely fast, but Morong Yu's reaction was even faster. As a result, the origin energy directly crashed into the imprisoned void. At the same time, Morong Yu's big hand grabbed down. The origin energy of the Taishan cultivation world was immediately furious. At this moment, the entire Taishan cultivation world seemed to shake. However, there was nothing he could do about it. He had great power. But if he was alone, he couldn't exert his power. If he wanted to unleash his great power, he must have a way to do so. Only when the two of them complemented each other could he unleash his great power. Even gods did not dare to step into their world of self-cultivation. Therefore, although he was furious, there was nothing he could do. In front of Morong Yu's strength of 10 million earth dragons, the origin energy of the Taishan cultivation world couldn't break through his space imprisonment. Morong Yu's big hand immediately imprisoned and captured it. Surrender! Morong Yu slapped the origin energy of the Taishan cultivation world into his dantian and began to refine it. In the beginning, the origin energy of the Taishan cultivation world tried its best to resist, but when it saw the origin energy of the other 32 cultivation worlds, it fell silent. Then, it gave up resisting and merged with Morong Yu. In less than half a day, Morong Yu refined the origin energy of the Taishan cultivation world and took control of it. At this point, Morong Yu had already taken control of 33 cultivation worlds. There were still 3 cultivation worlds that he had yet to take control of. I still can't break through. Neither my realm nor my strength can break through. Morong Yu frowned slightly. He was still at 10 million earth dragons, the limit of the immortal world. Moreover, Morong Yu was depressed to find that although his realm had reached the peak of the late immortal emperor realm, and Morong Yu felt that he could break through and reach the immortal venerable realm, he didn't know if it was because his strength had reached the limit. However, it seemed that someone was suppressing his realm, preventing him from breaking through to the immortal venerable realm. Is there really no way to break through this limit? Morong Yu muttered to himself, feeling somewhat unhappy. His lifespan had reached several epochs, and he had already broken through the limit of the immortal world. In his opinion, his strength should be able to break through 10 million earth dragons. Is there really no way to break through? I don't believe that as long as I take control of all 36 cultivation worlds, I don't believe that I can't break through this so-called limit. Morong Yu made up his mind and continued his journey. A few days later, Morong Yu made use of the various cultivation worlds' origin forces to successfully kill the 2 enforcers of the other cultivation worlds, and took control of their cultivation worlds. However, Morong Yu's realm and strength still didn't break through. There is one last cultivation world, the immortal origin cultivation world. Morong Yu took a deep breath and suppressed the excitement in his heart. A long time ago, Morong Yu faintly felt that if he took control of all 36 cultivation worlds, he would definitely reach a certain realm. What is this surprise? Will it allow me to break through the limit of my strength or something else? Morong Yu pondered in his heart. At the same time, the 35 cultivation worlds' origin forces joined together and began to tear open the void passage. In fact, they were as excited as Morong Yu, because this was an unprecedented feat in all of history. In the past, even 2 cultivation worlds had never gathered on a single person, let alone 36 cultivation worlds gathered on a single person. They were also looking forward to seeing what would happen if the 36 cultivation worlds were all gathered together. Would there be any surprises? While they were thinking, the void passage connecting to the immortal origin cultivation world was already established, and Morong Yu stepped into the void passage. Rumble, just as Morong Yu stepped into the void passage and prepared to teleport to the immortal origin cultivation world, the entire Yen Huang cultivation world shook violently. At this moment, the entire immortal world's people's minds were greatly shaken. Many people who were in closed-door cultivation were directly shaken awake and vomited blood. Their many years of cultivation results were almost shattered, and their strength was almost reversed, causing them to go berserk. Even Morong Yu's mind was greatly shaken, and his mind was greatly shaken. He was a little uneasy. What's going on? Morong Yu was shocked. This was something that had never happened before. In the immortal world, countless experts were enraged, and rushed out of their cultivation places with murderous intent. They all thought that someone was fighting in their seclusion, and that was why they were shaken. However, they soon realized that there was no one fighting near them, and almost everyone was the same. Moreover, in the immortal realm, some of the weaker and unlucky people were directly shaken to death by the tremor just now. What's going on? Countless people were shocked at the same time. At the same time, an extremely terrifying pressure came over, suppressing the void and causing it to shatter continuously. Bang! 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 Countless experts, who were originally flying in the void, were directly suppressed to the ground by this terrifying pressure. It was the same even for quasi-god experts. Nanling Mountains, Chaos Shenzhen. A crack suddenly appeared in the sky, and then a young man shimmering with golden light walked out of it. His step shattered millions of voids, and an incomparably terrifying aura emanated from him, suppressing the entire immortal world. Rumble, Shenzhen's great protective formation, was immediately activated by the impact of this young man's aura. It emitted rays of sword light, and a terrifying power soared into the sky, tearing the sky and splitting the earth, bursting with powerful light. You overestimate yourself. When the young man in the void saw this, he sneered and pressed his finger down on the primal chaos holy ancestor. What happened next shocked Shenzhen's experts. Shenzhen's most powerful protective formation had no effect at all. It couldn't withstand the power of this young man's finger. Bang! 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 Violent explosions continued to reverberate. Shenzhen's protective formation, which couldn't be shaken even by the joint attack of hundreds of quasi-gods, was being destroyed continuously. What a terrifying power! Who is this young man? Many Shenzhen's experts stood up straight with great difficulty, looking at the young man in the sky in shock. Apart from the quasi-god experts and some powerful immortal venerables, the rest were forced to prostrate on the ground by the terrifying pressure emitted by the young man. They couldn't even lift their heads, and even their divine sense couldn't leave their bodies. The young man's strength was so terrifying. Could it be that he is the legendary god? Is this the power of God? A terrifying thought flashed through everyone's mind. You're Shenzhen? The Shenzhen who unified the immortal world? You're just like an ant. I really don't know how you managed to unify the immortal world, and even kill the physical body of the young master. Call your sect master, Morong Yu, out, the young man said arrogantly, looking down at Shenzhen with disdain. Young master? What young master? Shenzhen's experts looked at each other. Shenzhen had killed the young master of this young man? Who could have such a terrifying subordinate? Who was the other party? What force? Chapter 8:11. Who is it? Everything happened in the blink of an eye. At this moment, Morong Yu, who had just stepped into the void passage, retracted his foot. He had seen everything that happened in the immortal world clearly, and he could still feel the power of the young man. If one were to use one word to describe that young man, it would be powerful. If he had to describe him with more words, it would be extremely powerful. He was definitely more powerful than Morong Yu. He definitely has more than 10 million earth dragons of power. Is he really a god from the god realm? Who is the young master he mentioned? Morong Yu thought to himself with a gloomy face. Who are you? Before the young man could finish his words, Morong Yu stepped out of Shenzhen and appeared in the void not far from the young man. The young man's aura was so powerful that it almost suppressed the entire immortal world, causing it to tremble constantly. However, what Morong Yu wasn't afraid of the least was aura suppression. Once he activated the space precepts, the so-called aura automatically bypassed his body before it even touched him. You are the Holy Lord of Shenzhen, Morong Yu? It's just a power clone. You're courting death. The young man glanced at Morong Yu and his face darkened. At the same time, he pointed his finger at him. Poor Morong Yu's power clone did not have much power. It was not even able to dodge the young man's finger before it was smashed into pieces. Only a clone appeared. You're so arrogant. Since that's the case, I'll force you out. The young man shouted coldly with a murderous intent. An enormous divine thought immediately swept out. It swept past Shenzhen, Nanling, and even the entire Lingnan region. However, what made the young man furious was that he did not find Morong Yu. He's not here. The young man was furious and stepped out. Rumble, one of the mountains in the southern mountains, was immediately shattered into fine powder. A powerful aura burst out and Shenzhen's disciples became even more terrified. Some of them who were not strong enough were directly killed. Damn it, he's not here? The young man was furious. His heart was burning with rage, and his killing intent soared. After Morong Yu's energy avatar appeared, he had already sensed its aura. Immediately, his consciousness spread out rapidly. It swept past the Nanling Mountains, the few large prefectures nearby, and even further away. He's definitely a god. In the world of cultivation, Morong Yu's face was livid. A thought flashed through his mind as he prepared to return to the celestial world. Young master, you absolutely cannot go back to the immortal world. Even if you have Hichu Luoshu, you are still no match for that god. You will be killed immediately. Even Hichu Luoshu won't have the chance to enter. Hichu quickly warned. That god's target is obviously me. If I don't go back, Shenzhen and even the entire immortal world will be slaughtered by him. I will definitely not let this happen to him. But even if you go back, can you change this matter? You will only be courting death if you go back. Hichu said sternly. Morong Yu was silent. Once again, he felt that he was weak. He thought that he had become the overlord of the immortal world and was an absolute powerhouse. He thought that he had enough power to protect the people around him. However, a random god from the immortal world could force him into a corner. There is only one way now. Take control of the last world of cultivation. Perhaps you will be able to break through because of this. Once you break through, you may have the power to fight that young man. Even if you can't kill him, you still have your family to transfer important people from the immortal world to the world of cultivation. Hichu said in a deep voice. Transferring people to the world of cultivation. Even a god would not dare to enter the world of cultivation. Once he entered the world of cultivation, he would be courting death. Right now, this is the only way. Morong Yu muttered to himself for a long time. He believed that this was the only path they could take. Thus, he gritted his teeth and stepped into the spatial tunnel. Immortal Source World of Cultivation, in one of the cities in the Immortal Source continent. A young man was walking aimlessly on the street. Suddenly, the young man felt something and raised his head to look at the sky above his head. A large black hand broke through the void. With a force of 10,000 caddies, it enveloped him and fiercely slammed down. The young man's expression changed instantly. He roared and was about to raise his strength to the limit. He circulated his origin energy and was about to teleport away. Nothing! Nothing! Above the sky of Sage Sect in the immortal world, the young man was thoroughly enraged. His furious roars rang out unceasingly, causing the void to shatter and the earth to shatter. The buildings within Sage Sect were also collapsing unceasingly. There were people who were killed by the tremors, and those who were shaken to the point of vomiting blood. The young man could not find Morong Yu. His mission in the immortal world was to kill Morong Yu. But now, he could not even find Morong Yu's shadow. Even the energy clone has come out. The original body must have known about this matter. As long as I control Shenzhen, let's see if you still won't come out. The young man sneered. His large hand suddenly reached out and slammed down on Shenzhen. It's over. Feeling the young man's large hand, many experts in Shenzhen were in despair. The young man's strength was too great. Even if they were quasi-gods, they were still no match for him. They didn't even have the qualifications to fight. They couldn't even withstand a single blow. Thank goodness the Holy Lord isn't in the immortal world. He'll avenge us in the future. Everyone was in despair, but no one was willing to surrender or beg for their lives. However, to their relief, the young man didn't kill them. With a single slap, the entire Shenzhen was enveloped in a layer of golden light. Like the dome of the sky, the light enveloped Shenzhen. It was so airtight that not even a mosquito could fly through. At the same time, the young man flicked his finger and destroyed one teleportation formation after another in Shenzhen. Some of these formations were connected to the main cities of the immortal world of immortals. Some were teleported to their own cultivation realms. It's good that the formations are destroyed. As long as people from the cultivation world don't teleport here, the disciples of Shenzhen won't be exterminated. As long as the Holy Lord breaks through, he'll be able to kill this person and destroy the sect behind him. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. No one was afraid of death. None of you are afraid of death? The young man couldn't help but feel a little strange when he saw that everyone seemed to be relieved. But more than that, he sneered and disdained. I'll give you 3 days. If Murong-yu doesn't appear in 3 days, you'll all die. Not only that, but everyone in the immortal world will die. The entire immortal world will be destroyed and returned to the primordial era, returning to chaos. The young man's cold, emotionless voice rang out above Shenzhen and even spread far and wide in all directions. It wasn't only for the people of Shenzhen to hear, but also for the entire immortal world and Murong-yu, who was lurking in the shadows. After saying that, the young man sat down cross-legged in the void above Shenzhen and waited for Murong-yu to return. He knew Murong-yu's character. With Murong-yu's sentimental personality, he definitely wouldn't watch Shenzhen be destroyed, let alone the entire immortal world being destroyed because of him. The young man firmly believed that Murong-yu would appear in 3 days. Sitting cross-legged in the sky, the young man didn't realize that in the depths of the southern mountains, a pair of eyes filled with hatred was staring at him with murderous intent. Logically speaking, with the young man's strength, if someone stared at him, he would definitely sense it. But now, he was being stared at with murderous intent and hatred, and he didn't sense it at all. Was this person even stronger than him? Or did he have some kind of cultivation method to hide his aura? The first day passed, and Murong-yu didn't appear. The second day passed, and Murong-yu still didn't appear. Soon, the 3-day deadline was about to arrive. 2 days ago, in the Immortal Origin Cultivation World, the enforcer of the Immortal Origin Cultivation World died. The entire cultivation world was covered in a rain of blood. The last cultivation world. After controlling the Immortal Origin Cultivation World, can my strength break through the limit? Surpass 10 million Earth Dragon strength? It's best if I can break through. Otherwise, Shenzhen and the entire immortal world will be destroyed. I definitely won't allow that to happen. Immortal Origin Cultivation World, 36 cultivation worlds, I hope you won't disappoint me. I need a surprise. Otherwise, I can only undergo tribulation and become a god. If Murong-yu wanted to undergo tribulation, he would definitely succeed. But after undergoing tribulation, he still wouldn't be that young man's match. Unless he condensed his own godhead and became a god, then it would be possible. But who knew how long Murong-yu would need to condense his own godhead? By that time, it would be too late. In the Immortal Origin Cultivation World's origin space, Murong-yu sat down and started refining the Immortal Origin Cultivation World. Soon, He completely controlled the entire immortal origin cultivation world. Then, at this moment, Morong Yu finally broke through. Rumble, whether it was his cultivation realm or strength, both started to break through. He directly broke through to the initial stage, immortal venerable realm. His strength also broke through 10 million Earth Dragon strength. 1 million, 1 million. Soon, Morong Yu's strength rose to 15 million Earth Dragon strength. Moreover, the momentum of growth was still fast and crazy. However, Morong Yu's attention wasn't on his cultivation realm or strength breakthrough at all. Instead, it was in his Dantian. This was because, after he refined the immortal origin world's origin energy, the origin energy of the immortal origin world in his Dantian started to change. It actually started to fuse together without any gap. It was as if they were originally one. Now, these cultivation worlds' origin energy were just recombining into one, becoming the same as before. Soon, the 36 cultivation worlds' origin energy completely fused together, forming a brand new body. There was no longer any cultivation world's origin energy, but there was an additional ball of golden energy in Morong Yu's Dantian. A new ball of energy that was billions of times stronger than the cultivation world's origin energy. Chapter 8:12 Immortal Realm Origin. When the golden energy appeared, these words naturally appeared in Morong Yu's mind. It's actually the immortal realm origin? Morong Yu's originally calm heart became excited at this time. At the same time, information from the immortal realm origin was constantly transmitted into Morong Yu's memory. There were punishers in the immortal realm. But the punishers in the immortal realm were different from the punishers in the cultivation world, because the punishers in the immortal realm were not recognized by the immortal realm origin. In other words, the punishers in the immortal realm were just in name. They did not have the power to use the origin like the punishers in the cultivation world, and could not teleport back to the immortal realm at any time. In short, the punishers in the immortal realm were just ordinary punishers. Their strength was completely related to themselves and had nothing to do with the immortal realm. At least, this was the case in the Yen Huang immortal realm. Moreover, Morong Yu also knew that the reason why the punishers in the immortal realm were not recognized by the origin was that they could not come into contact with the immortal realm origin at all. The immortal realm origin was actually divided into two parts. One part maintained the stability of the immortal realm, and this part was not accessible to all cultivators. The other part was divided into 36 parts, and became the origin energy of the 36 cultivation world. In other words, the origin of the cultivation worlds was actually the origin of the immortal realm. However, after being divided into 36 parts, the origin of the immortal realm did not have any memory or ability of the origin of the immortal realm. Only when someone took control of the 36 cultivation realms and merged the origin energies of all the cultivation realms into one, would the origin energies of the cultivation realms return to their original state. In other words, it would be restored to the immortal realm origin. At this time, Morong Yu felt that the origin of the 36 cultivation worlds he controlled had also changed. All of them had changed from the original gray to gold, and were exactly the same as the origin of the origin in his Dantian. There was no difference. In addition, Morong Yu also felt the connection between himself and the Yen Huang immortal realm. That kind of connection was similar to his connection with the 36 cultivation realms. Morong Yu knew that he'd become the enforcer of the world of immortals. He was the absolute ruler of this world. Even if God descends, he would not be a match for Morong Yu. With just a thought, Morong Yu could kill those gods that had descended to the mortal world. Life and death in a single thought. The origin energy of the immortal world was billions of times more powerful than the origin energy of the cultivation world. Just the original power of the cultivation world was enough to kill gods, let alone the original power of the immortal world, which was billions of times stronger. Moreover, The origin energy of the immortal world possessed every ability of the cultivation world's origin energy. Murong Yu could use the origin power of the immortal world to teleport back to the immortal world from anywhere. Furthermore, the origin of the immortal world had many abilities that the origin of the immortal world did not have. Since that was the case, Murong Yu was not in a hurry for the time being. With his strength, Murong Yu could even kill someone 1,000,000 times stronger than him, let alone the young man who had suppressed Shenzhen. As long as he was willing, the young man could not kill anyone. I wonder if the other immortal worlds are the same? Half of the origin energy of the immortal world has become the power of the cultivation world? Murong Yu pondered. He knew that there were 3,000 immortal worlds below the immortal world. And below the immortal world, there were 36 cultivation realms. In other words, there was one immortal world, 3,000 immortal worlds, and 108,000 cultivation realms in this world. If I control 30 cultivation realms, I can become the enforcer of the immortal world and completely control the immortal world. Then what if I control the 3,000 immortal worlds? Will I be able to control the immortal world directly? If I become the enforcer of the immortal world, then I will really be invincible. No matter how strong or how old the god is, I can kill him like a dog. Of course, this was only Murong Yu's idea. He had no idea if the origin energy of the immortal world was the same as the immortal world. Even if that was the case, with Murong Yu's strength, he would not be able to control the immortal world. How could the 3,000 immortal worlds be so easy to control? Murong Yu had spent so much time controlling the 36 cultivation realms, let alone the 3,000 immortal worlds. If someone were to discover this, those super existences would be able to crush Murong Yu to death with a single finger. After all, if Murong Yu controlled the immortal world, then those people would become Murong Yu's subjects. Their lives would be in the hands of Murong Yu, who would be willing to do that. After feeling the power of the immortal world's origin energy, Murong Yu's breakthrough came to an end. He was at the peak of the early immortal venerable realm, almost entering the intermediate immortal venerable realm. His realm was not very strong, far from those quasi-god realm experts. On the other hand, Murong Yu's strength had increased by several times, reaching 50 million Earth Dragons' power. I wonder how much strength a deity has? 50 million Earth Dragon power. I should be able to fight against the lowest level god, right? Murong Yu laughed in his heart and stepped out of the immortal origin world and teleported back to the immortal world. After making a breakthrough in his strength, Murong Yu couldn't wait to find someone to spar with. However, there was a god in the sky above the sage sect. This person was the best person to practice on. Immortal world, above Shenzhen. The deity realm youth suddenly opened his eyes, and a trace of killing intent shot out from his eyes. 3 days have passed, and Murong Yu still has not appeared. It seems like he does not care about you guys at all. Since that is the case, there is no value in your existence, all of you can go to hell. As he spoke, the youth had already stood up, and reached out his hand, about to wipe out the entire Shenzhen. As long as his hand slammed down, the entire chaos Shenzhen would be wiped out, and not a single one would be left alive. Bullshit, the Sacred Lord treats us like family. If you want to kill, then kill, but don't talk nonsense here. Are you trying to drive a wedge between us and the Sacred Lord? You have the wrong idea. Just as the youth finished speaking, a sudden roar came from Shenzhen. That's right, the Sacred Lord's position in our hearts is unshakable. He better not appear. As long as he avoids this calamity, when he becomes stronger, he will kill you to avenge us. You and that bullshit force behind you will be trampled by the Sacred Lord in the future, and not a single chicken or dog will be left alive. If you want to kill us, then kill us. We are not afraid of death, so why are you talking nonsense here? For a moment, the Shenzhen was filled with curses, and the youth's face turned pale. He did not react for a moment. In that case, all of you can go to hell. Don't worry, after I kill you, I will kill everyone in this bullshit immortal realm, and your bullshit sacred lord Murong Yu will not have the chance to avenge you. Because I will kill him soon. The youth was filled with killing intent, and his hand was about to slam down. Is that so? You want to kill me? At this moment, a figure appeared in front of the youth out of thin air. It was really out of thin air. Even with the true God realm, the youth could not sense how Murong Yu appeared. This was because there were no signs before Murong Yu appeared, and even the void did not fluctuate. Sacred Lord, why are you here? You should not have appeared. After we die, you can avenge us. Sacred Lord, leave quickly. As long as you are still alive, we will have no regrets even if we die. Voices could be heard, and all of them were trying to persuade Murong Yu to leave. Murong Yu felt touched as he listened to the sincere words that came from the bottom of their hearts. It was not in vain that he had been fighting to make Shenzhen strong. Everything was worth it for these people to treat him like this. Leave? Where are you going? Since you have appeared, you can stay here forever. The youth looked at Murong Yu indifferently, and his eyes were full of disdain. Everyone, please be quiet. I will not avenge you because you will not die. I will not allow any of you to die. None of you will die. The one who will die today is not us, but him. Moreover, I solemnly promise everyone here that whoever wants to kill us, whoever wants to destroy Shenzhen, will be trampled by us, regardless of whether it is a god or anything else. Hearing Murong Yu's words, the people of Shenzhen fell silent. They chose to believe Murong Yu. They believed without any conditions. They believed that Murong Yu could do whatever he said. Ha ha ha! The young man burst into laughter. He pointed at Murong Yu and laughed maniacally. You think you can do that? You are just an insignificant immortal? You really think too highly of yourself. Do you know who I am? Do you know who you have offended? Seeing that you are about to die, I am not afraid to tell you. I am a member of the Divine Union. Divine Union. Murong Yu could not help but be shocked. He recalled what the youth had said before. It seemed like Murong Yu had killed the physical body of their young master. There was also a divine union in the immortal world, and their union leader Ji was also a god, a fallen god. Could Ji be their young master? Does the divine union also have such a force in the immortal world? Murong Yu thought to himself, but on the surface, he looked at the youth indifferently. Do you know what kind of existence the divine union is? Ants like you definitely do not know. Let me tell you now. The divine union is a superpower even in the immortal world. If you offend the divine union, even if I cannot kill you today, you will not live to see tomorrow. If you dare to kill the physical body of the young master, the entire Yan Huang immortal world will be buried with him. Your young master is Ji? Murong Yu asked indifferently. Ji is our young master, the young master of the divine union, the youth said in a low voice. He is just a dead man. If I can kill him once, I can kill him a second time. Of course, the prerequisite is that he is still alive. Now you can die. Murong Yu laughed coldly. His body flickered and disappeared on the spot, charging towards the youth. Chapter 8:13. When he saw Murong Yu charging towards him, the divine union expert looked at him with disdain and did not take him seriously. However, he only moved when Murong Yu was in front of him. He stretched out his hand and punched gently at Murong Yu. Bang! The divine fist was invincible. It was extremely fast and arrived first. When Murong Yu was halfway there, the young man's punch landed heavily on Murong Yu's chest. Murong Yu was immediately sent flying like a broken rag doll. Ah! Shenzhen and the rest on the ground exclaimed when they saw this. Apart from Shenzhen and the rest, the young man from the divine world could not help but exclaim as well. This was because even though he didn't use his full strength, anyone below the deity realm would be crushed into a bloody mist. Not even a speck of dust would be left behind from this attack. However, when his punch landed on Murong Yu's body, not only did he not turn Murong Yu into dust, He did not even suffer any injuries. In fact, with Murong Yu's 50 million Earth Dragon power and strong physical body, he did not suffer any injuries even though he was punched by the young man. Moreover, even if he was injured, the life force in his body was quickly cleansed a few times and he immediately recovered to his peak. Moreover, it was impossible to kill him in the divine world. It was simply impossible. You can actually borrow 50% of my strength. It seems like you have some ability to destroy the young master's physical body. However, I don't know if you can take this punch of mine. A look of surprise flashed across the young man's eyes. However, it was only for a moment before it was replaced by a look of disdain. In his eyes, Murong Yu was still a native of a lower plane, an ant-like existence. Who would put ants in their eyes? He took a step forward, shattering a large part of the void. His figure flickered as he arrived in front of Murong Yu and punched out once more. This time, Murong Yu raised his strength to the limit and punched out at the same time. Rumble! The two men's fists collided with each other halfway, causing an earth-shattering explosion. This time, the young man's body couldn't help but sway slightly. Murong Yu was even more pitiful as he was sent flying again. After smashing through billions of space-time, he finally came to a stop tens of billions of miles away. He actually took my attack and didn't die? The young man's face revealed a hint of surprise, but more than that, there was a murderous intent and embarrassment. A mere ant was actually able to withstand 70% of his power without being injured. This made him feel extremely embarrassed. Now go to hell. Enraged, the young man's aura exploded forth. All of the world of immortals trembled as a terrifying aura swept out and suppressed everything in its path. Countless immortals and demonic beasts trembled under the pressure of this terrifying aura. It was to the extent that some people who were not strong enough were on the verge of exploding under this terrifying pressure. You're courting death. As the ruler of the world of immortals, Murong Yu naturally knew what the world of immortals and its many lives were currently enduring. How could he allow the young man to act so impudently in the world of immortals? With a furious roar, Murong Yu's expression turned solemn. In the name of I, Murong Yu, ruler of the world of immortals, I bestow stability to the world of immortals. I bestow freedom to all life. All external pressure will vanish without a trace. Murong Yu's faint and cool voice wasn't loud, but it strangely echoed through every inch of space in the world of immortals. Be it immortals, monster spirits, or other life forms, everyone in the world of immortals heard Murong Yu's words with unparalleled clarity. Moreover, every life form in the world of immortals realized that even before Murong Yu's voice had finished, the trembling world of immortals had stabilized. Those who'd been on the verge of exploding from the young man's terrifying aura suddenly felt the pressure on them vanish at some point. The world of immortals returned to normal and no longer had any powerful aura. They'd all regained their freedom. They all knew that the one who'd done all this was none other than Murong Yu, ruler of the world of immortals. Ruler of the world of immortals. Ruler of the world of immortals. Without the terrifying pressure weighing down on them, those of the world of immortals felt as if they'd just returned from the gates of hell. While they rejoiced, they were also incomparably grateful to Murong Yu, ruler of the world of immortals. Unknowingly, the hearts of the people fell in love with Murong Yu. At this moment, the three words Murong Yu were imprinted in the hearts of many immortals and even monster spirits. They all knew that Murong Yu would be their guardian, the ruler of the world of immortals. Ruler of the world of immortals? You're the ruler of the world of immortals? Do you know that there's never a true ruler in the world of immortals? No one can control the world of immortals. Do you think this is the world of cultivation? Hearing Murong Yu's words, the young man couldn't help but laugh out loud, his tone full of ridicule. However, the expression on his face soon froze. This was because he saw that Shenzhen and the rest, who'd been suppressed by his aura and couldn't move at all, had now regained their freedom. This is impossible. The young man turned pale with fright. With a single thought, an incomparably powerful aura suddenly pressed down on Shenzhen like a tidal wave. However, the young man was horrified to discover that his aura was constantly weakening after it left his body. In the end, when it was less than 10 meters away, his incomparably powerful aura disappeared without a trace. It had completely disappeared. Could he really be the ruler of the world of immortals? How is this possible? The world of immortals has never had a true ruler. No one can control the world of immortals. Not even a god can. The young man roared in his heart. He would rather die than believe that Morong Yu was the ruler of the world of immortals. In the true god realm, even the trashiest god has at least 100 million Earth Dragon power. 50 million Earth Dragon power. If I hadn't become the ruler of the world of immortals, I'm afraid I would have been killed by this young man with a single punch. However, since I'm the ruler of the world of immortals, he has to die. Who cares if he's from the divine union? Morong Yu thought in his heart. His eyes flashed coldly as traces of killing intent spread out. Whether you believe it or not, I'm the ruler of the world of immortals. Now you can die for me. Morong Yu took a step forward, appeared in front of the young man, and slammed his palm down. Instantly, the young man felt an incomparably strong aura of death. The young man was horrified. He knew that he would definitely die if Morong Yu's palm hit him. Run! Since Morong Yu was the ruler of the world of immortals, the young man knew that even if he was 1,000,000 times stronger, he wouldn't be a match for Morong Yu. Immediately, he wanted to escape back to the divine world. As long as he reported that Morong Yu was the ruler of the world of immortals, not only would he not be punished, but he would also be heavily rewarded. However, since Morong Yu was the ruler of the world of immortals, how could he let the young man escape? Spread the news that he was the ruler of the world of immortals? The best way was to make a fortune silently. Therefore, he used the power of the ruler of the world of immortals. In an instant, the young man felt that he was confined to the spot by a force. He couldn't struggle, and even his strength was restrained. At the same time, Morong Yu slammed his palm down. Bang! The young man let out a miserable cry as he was smashed into a bloody mist by Morong Yu's palm. A true god expert didn't even have the chance to escape. He was killed by Morong Yu with a single palm strike. In fact, even a stronger true god wouldn't be a match for Morong Yu in the world of immortals. Morong Yu only needed a thought to kill them. Is this a godhead? The blood mist dissipated, but a 2-finger-wide, finger-long, square-shaped object that emitted a faint white glow remained in the air. It hadn't been killed by Morong Yu. Morong Yu reached out and grabbed the object that looked like a godhead. What a surging power! I heard that a godhead is the hardest thing on the body of a true god. Ordinary people can't break it. This must be a godhead. The power contained within is truly terrifying. Ordinary quasi-gods wouldn't even be a fraction of 1 in 100 million. Morong Yu's face was filled with shock at the power of the divine spark. When Morong Yu killed the young man, a young man from the divine union flew into a rage. Trash, you're all trash. Not only was a god unable to kill Morong Yu in a low-level plane like the celestial realm, he even got himself killed. Trash, good for nothing. If Morong Yu was here, he would definitely be shocked. This was because the person in front of him was exactly the same as the Ji-Shur he killed. However, the aura on him was many times stronger than the Ji-Shur in the immortal realm. Send people down immediately. We must kill Morong Yu and destroy the entire immortal realm. Leave no one alive. The young man roared for a while before giving another order. He actually wanted to destroy the entire Yen Huang immortal realm. This showed how cruel this person was and how much hatred he had for Morong Yu. However, no one in the immortal realm knew that they were about to face a great crisis. The godhood contains extremely pure divine power. One godhood is comparable to trillions of grade 9 immortal meridians. It can be used to accelerate time in the Hichu Luoshu, Morong Yu thought, and threw the godhood into the Hichu Luoshu world. If the true gods in the immortal realm knew that Morong Yu had used a godhood as a source of energy, they would definitely kill him. If he used it to accelerate time, countless people would want to kill Morong Yu. After all, in the immortal realm, the godhood was a supreme existence. The pure divine power contained within it could be used for cultivation. Directly absorbing the power of the godhood to cultivate was much more effective than absorbing the spiritual chi of heaven and earth or other methods of cultivation. It could be said to be twice the result with half the effort. The master of the immortal realm. From now on, the immortal realm will have no worries. Morong Yu took a deep breath and appeared in the Shenzhen world in a flash. In an instant, countless people crowded around Morong Yu, each and every one of them looking at him with admiring gazes. Chapter 8:14. In my name I forbid all experts above the immortal realm to descend. After killing the experts of the divine union, Morong Yu knew that the immortal realm was not so safe now. Of course, if Morong Yu was in the immortal realm, he would not be attacked in the immortal realm. However, what if Morong Yu was not in the immortal realm? He would ascend to the immortal realm sooner or later, although he could teleport back to the immortal realm at any time. However, if someone from the immortal realm wanted to destroy the immortal realm, it would only take an instant. If Morong Yu happened to be delayed by something, then the immortal world would be in for a tragedy if he was even a split second late. Therefore, Morong Yu used his name as the master of the immortal realm to set a series of new rules. One of the rules was that quasi-gods could not descend to the immortal realm. In other words, those who had reached the immortal realm could not enter the immortal realm. In this way, no gods could enter the immortal realm. As long as there were no gods, no matter how many people came, they would not be a threat. After all, the immortal realm was not the immortal realm of the past. Now there were many quasi-gods. Of course, Morong Yu was the master of the immortal realm. Although he had set this rule, it was not a problem for him to return to the immortal realm. Moreover, with Morong Yu's permission, the others could also return to the immortal realm. Immortal realm. Young master, we can't enter the Yen Huang immortal realm. We can't open the passage to the Yen Huang immortal realm at all. An expert of the divine union said to their young master, the Ji family. Trash. Useless. You can't even open the passage to the immortal realm. What's the use of keeping you? The Ji family roared angrily, wanting to slap the trash in front of him to death. Young master, this is not our problem. Even a sky realm expert can't open the passage. It is said that the entire Yen Huang immortal realm is sealed. Unless we destroy it from the outside, we can't open the passage. Sealed? Don't tell me they can't ascend? The Ji family's face was ferocious. Young master, they can still ascend. They can ascend to the divine realm, but the people of the divine realm can't descend. Fine. Go to the ascension platform of the Yen Huang immortal realm and monitor it for me. If you see anyone ascending from the Yen Huang immortal realm, take them down, Ji said murderously. Following which, the people of the Divine Alliance went to make arrangements. They had to monitor the people of the Yen Huang immortal world near the ascension platform. If anyone ascended, they would fall into the hands of the Divine Alliance. These immortal realms are truly safe. I can also cultivate without worry. Morong Yu laid down a series of rules that protected the entire immortal realm and the 36 cultivation realms like an iron bucket. Only then did he feel relieved. Although I can trigger the divine tribulation right now and I'm confident that I can pass the divine tribulation without using the tribulation transcendence pill, I can't do anything about it. However, there's no need to rush. I'll wait until my cultivation base reaches the peak of the late immortal venerable realm. The more powerful one is, the more powerful one will be after transcending the tribulation and ascending to godhood. In order to avoid being looked down upon and bullied like an ant, the only way was to become stronger. It would be best if I could reach the Master God realm directly. In fact, Morong Yu wasn't only doing this because of the Divine Alliance. In the Divine Realm, the Divine Alliance was also a superpower. Since Morong Yu had killed Ji's physical body, it was obvious that the Divine Alliance wouldn't let him go. Moreover, besides the Divine Alliance, there was also the Heavenly Punisher Palace in the Immortal Realm. Perhaps there were demonic sects, immortal palaces, and sacred sects in the Divine Realm. Morong Yu had destroyed these forces and wiped out their legacies. Naturally, these forces wouldn't let Morong Yu go either. When others cultivate, I cultivate too. When others ascend, I ascend too. However, why do I always provoke some powerful forces before I ascend? Morong Yu thought helplessly. However, he soon laughed it off. Back in the cultivation realm, weren't the giants like the immortal palaces and demonic sex existences that I had to look up to? Aren't they being trampled under my feet now? So what if the forces in the divine realm are strong? One day, I will trample them all under my feet too. Anyway, no matter where I go, the world will be conquered and flattened by me. Morong Yu had entered the cultivation realm from a trash in the mortal world. He had killed so many people in the cultivation realm that blood flowed like a river. In the end, he had even unified the cultivation realm. After he had ascended, he had also created a bloodbath in the immortal realm before finally unifying the immortal realm. Morong Yu's current goal was to unify the divine realm. Whoosh! Morong Yu's figure flashed and he arrived in the southern mountains. Senior, it's about time you tell me about the Mirage sect, right? I realized that you hate that person from the Divine Alliance very much. Could it be that the Phantom sect was destroyed because of the Divine Alliance? Was the Divine Alliance the main culprit, or was the Divine Alliance one of the accomplices? The person who had looked at the Divine Alliance powerhouse with hatred in the southern mountains was the remnant soul of the Phantom sect. However, he hadn't done anything back then. Morong Yu had seen all of this. The Divine Alliance was the main culprit who destroyed the Phantom sect. They wanted to obtain the army word formula. If possible, I hope that you can destroy the Divine Alliance. Then, you wouldn't have received the inheritance of the army word formula in vain. The remnant soul of the Phantom sect appeared beside Morong Yu like a ghost. His deep voice rang in Morong Yu's ears. However, the Phantom sect's influence in the divine realm is very strong. If you don't have the strength, it's better not to provoke them. Don't waste your life in vain. Senior, don't worry. One day, I will destroy the entire Divine Alliance. Morong Yu smiled. After chatting with the remnant soul for a while, he left the southern mountains. If Morong Yu didn't take the initiative to provoke the Divine Alliance, the people of the Divine Alliance wouldn't let him off either. Since that was the case, he might as well destroy the entire Divine Alliance. That way there wouldn't be any trouble. He could also take revenge for the Phantom sect. After all, Morong Yu's army word formula had been passed down from the Phantom sect. In fact, he had a master-disciple relationship with the Phantom sect. In the following time, Morong Yu started to cultivate wholeheartedly. During this process, Morong Yu had returned to the Huaxia cultivation world and wanted to enter the tomb of the gods. However, Morong Yu had discovered that he couldn't enter the tomb of the gods given his current strength. Back then, Ji Luo had said that he could enter the tomb of the gods. He didn't know if that was a lie or if he had other methods. However, Morong Yu didn't care much about the tomb of the gods. Since he couldn't enter, he wouldn't go in for the time being. In any case, the tomb of the gods was right there. He would just have to wait until he was strong enough to enter. In the 100th year after Morong Yu became the ruler of the immortal realm, he finally married Zhao Jiqing, Yu Mengqing, and Morong Liue into the Morong family. The three women officially became the daughters-in-law of the Morong family. The aura of the ruler of the immortal realm and his status was high. It could be said that he was above everyone else. Morong Yu's marriage this time could be said to be a great celebration. The entire immortal realm celebrated happily for a full 3 years. Furthermore, during these 3 years, Morongyu had constantly sent out wedding candies that belonged to him. Almost everyone, regardless of whether they were disciples of Shenzhen or not, had received a king-breaking pill, a monarch-breaking pill, and a king-breaking pill. How many people were there in the entire immortal realm? Morongyu didn't know. He only knew that he had prepared for a full year for these pills. With his current strength, how many king-breaking pills could he refine in a year? Countless trillions of pills in a day. However, all of this was worth it. This was because he was very happy to see Zhao Jiqing and the other 2 women. They were very happy. As long as the 3 women were happy, everything would be fine. Father, Mother, I've brought these 3 daughters-in-law back to see you. In the Huaxiao world of self-cultivators, Morongyu brought Zhao Jiqing and the other 2 women back to pay respects to his deceased parents. Morongyu's parents had died early. It was because of their early deaths that Morongyu had fallen to the point where he couldn't even be compared to the servants of the Morong family. However, Morongyu didn't resent his parents. In fact, he often missed his parents. Moreover, even if his parents were still alive, Morongyu's situation in the Morong family wouldn't be very good. After all, his parents' status in the Morong family wasn't very good. Father, Mother, I've come back to see you again. Zhao Jiqing and the other 2 women kowtowed 3 times in front of the graves of Morongyu's parents. Then Zhao Jiqing said. Zhao Jiqing, when she was in the secular world, would come here to pay her respects on the anniversary of her parents' death. Now that she had become the daughter-in-law of the Morong family, she was even more respectful to Morongyu's parents. Well, when I have the strength in the future, I will definitely bring my parents back to life. At that time, you can show your filial piety in front of them. Morongyu laughed in his heart, but he had made a decision in his heart. Xiaoyu, now that you're married, when are you going to have a child? You've seen through my eyes. And your parents definitely want to see you carry on the family line as soon as possible. At this time, Li Guo's voice came. This time, Morongyu came back with Li Guo's family. Haha, we will definitely work hard on this matter. Uncle Li, you don't have to worry. Morongyu laughed, but Zhao Jiqing and the other 2 women blushed with shame. In the following days, as Morongyu said, he began to work hard to make a baby. At the same time, in the process, he kept cultivating. In the 100th year after they got married, Zhao Jiqing finally had a child. However, what made Morongyu depressed was that their strength was too strong. It was impossible to give birth to a child after 10 months of pregnancy. From the time of pregnancy to the birth of a child, the fastest time was hundreds of years, and some were even longer. However, time was not a problem for Morongyu and the others. Hundreds of years passed in the blink of an eye. In addition to Zhao Jiqing, Yu Mengqing and Mu Liue were not far behind, and they got pregnant one after another. Chapter 8:15. How is it? How is it? Immortal World, Shenzhen. Morongyu and the others were gathered outside a courtyard. Morongyu's face was filled with anxiety, but there was also a hint of excitement in his anxiety. He kept pacing back and forth in front of everyone, saying some meaningless words from time to time. Morongyu had never acted like this before. When the others saw Morongyu acting like this, they couldn't help but snicker. Little Yu, why are you so anxious? Isn't it just sister-in-law giving birth today? Li Feng walked over and teased Morongyu. Morongyu glared at Li Feng and said, Don't think that I don't know what you were like back then. You were even more anxious than I am now, okay? Li Feng laughed mischievously and turned his head to look elsewhere. Uncle, I don't know why you are so anxious. You are the lord of the immortal world. You didn't even get nervous when facing the gods of the divine union. Li Ling curled his lips and said with some confusion, How is this the same? I am looking forward to it. This is the nervousness of being a father. Ask your father, he was different back then. Morongyu also knew that he was a little too nervous, but no matter what, he couldn't calm down. Kid, you are not young anymore. When are you going to find me a wife? Li Feng glared at him, and Li Ling was so scared that he fled with a whoosh. All these years, he was afraid of his father and often forced him to get a wife. This made Li Ling very speechless. Murong, don't worry. With big sister Jiqing's strength, nothing will happen to her. You can rest assured. Mu Liue and Yu Mengqing snickered inwardly when they saw how nervous Murong Yu was. As they snickered, they also felt a trace of happiness. Murong Yu was worried about Zhao Jiqing and the child that was about to be born. They all knew that if they were about to give birth, Murong Yu would be the same. Okay, I'm not nervous. You two stay there and rest. Don't disturb the baby. Murong Yu smiled. What? At this moment, a loud and vigorous cry of a baby came from the room in the courtyard. Hearing this cry, Murong Yu's body shook violently. He knew that his first child was finally born. Congratulations, Holy Lord! The child is a son. At that moment, a midwife rushed out to report the good news to Murong Yu. Murong Yu was overjoyed and was about to rush in. However, at this moment, another loud cry came from inside the house. From the sound of it, it didn't seem to be a baby boy, but a baby girl's crying. This! Murong Yu's face in an instant. What was going on with the crying of a baby boy and then a baby girl? Congratulations, Holy Lord! Madam gave birth to twins, a dragon and a phoenix. The midwife's surprised voice came. Twins? Murong Yu's heart shook violently, and then he was ecstatic. Haha, it's actually twins. Everyone was overjoyed and hurriedly congratulated Murong Yu. Yu Mengqing and Mu Liue were also very happy, but there was also a hint of envy in their happiness. Not long after, the midwife came out with the two babies. Zhao Jiqing also came out very quickly. With Zhao Jiqing's strength at the immortal venerable realm, giving birth to a child would not affect her body at all. Come, let me carry the child. Murong Yu rushed forward and carried one of the babies over. Wah! Murong Yu had just carried the baby over when the baby started crying. Of course, he was not carrying this baby, but the other one. Father is biased, I want to be carried too. A tender voice came out, causing the surrounding people to laugh. Without any hesitation, Murong Yu carried the pair of twins over to him. As for the babies being able to speak as soon as they were born, none of them found it strange. After all, they had been in their mother's womb for a whole 1,000 years. During this long period, Murong Yu had done his best to nurture them and temper their bodies. After 1,000 years of tempering, their bodies and aptitudes must have reached a heaven-defying level. In this way, it was normal for them to be able to speak. Both of them are in the immortal monarch realm? Everyone came over. Suddenly, someone inadvertently looked at the realms of the twins and could not help but exclaim. The twins had crossed countless realms as soon as they were born and directly reached the immortal monarch realm. They had saved countless years of cultivation and were among the strongest in the immortal world as soon as they were born. With such a realm and aptitude, it would not be long before they broke through to the immortal emperor realm, or even the immortal monarch realm, quasi-god realm, or even god realm. Little Yu, do the children have names? Li Guo walked up and looked at the twins in Murong Yu's arms with a kind expression. At the same time, he asked Murong Yu. I didn't think that it would be twins this time, but I thought of a name for each boy and girl. Murong Yu smiled. Perhaps, seeing this, some people would find it strange. With their strength, even if the children had not been born, it should not be difficult to know if they were twins or if they were boys or girls, right? Indeed, it was not difficult to know their gender. One only needed to scan with one's divine sense. However, that would not be a surprise. If one knew the gender of the children early on, how could there be a surprise when they were born? Therefore, in the entire Shenzhen, before the twins were born, no one knew their gender. Even Zhao Jiqing did not know. The brother will be called Murong Xian, and the sister will be called Murong Yen, Murong Yu said with a smile. Okay, I have a name. My name is Morong Yen. Brother, you will be called Morong Xian. The twins clapped their little hands, looking very happy. In a flash, 10 years had passed. In 10 years, Morong Xian and Morong Yen were already 10 years old. Their aptitude was indeed heaven-defying. It could be said that no one had ever done it before. At the age of 10, they both broke through to the immortal emperor realm. A 10-year-old immortal emperor. It had never appeared in the history of the immortal world. They were definitely the most monstrous geniuses. When the twins were 20 years old, their strength had already reached the late-stage immortal emperor realm and was about to enter the immortal monarch realm. The speed at which their strength soared made countless people feel ashamed. At this time, Morong Yu's third child was finally born. It was a girl named Morong Lin. Her mother was Yu Mengqing. Morong Lin's aptitude was probably not inferior to the twins at all. When she was born, she was also at the immortal monarch realm. Countless people were envious. Then, 5 years later, Morong Yu's fourth child, Morong Yi, was finally willing to leave his mother's womb and was born at this time. When he was born, he was also at the immortal monarch realm. The 4 children were all at the immortal monarch realm when they were born. With such heaven-defying aptitude, even Morong Yu could not help but be jealous. Of course, they could be where they were today entirely because of Morong Yu. Otherwise, even if their parents were at the immortal monarch realm, when they were born, their strength would reach the high immortal realm or profound immortal realm. They would be considered as absolute geniuses. This was because Morong Yu was the lord of the immortal world. Moreover, he had the heavenly punishment writ, life force, and various other treasures. These treasures had been used to temper their bodies when they were still in their mother's womb. Otherwise, when Morong Xian and the others were born, their strength would have reached the golden immortal realm. It would have been impossible for them to reach the immortal monarch realm, which was a heaven-defying realm. Over the past 1,000 years, Morong Yu's cultivation had also increased by leaps and bounds. His realm had already broken through the peak of the mid-stage immortal monarch realm and was about to enter the late-stage immortal monarch realm. Furthermore, his strength had reached 80 million earthly dragon power. This was a total of 30 million more earth dragon power than before. Morong Yu believed that as long as he entered the late-stage immortal monarch realm, his strength would reach 100 million earth dragon points. In fact, when he cultivated to the Great Circle realm, it was very likely that he would reach 100 million earth dragon points. Back then, the deity that descended from the divine union had a strength of around 100 million earth dragon points. 5,000 years after Morong Yu became the lord of the immortal world, his realm finally broke through to the late-stage immortal monarch realm. His strength had also increased to 100 million earth dragon points. After another 1,000 years, Morong Yu's realm had reached the peak of the late-stage immortal monarch realm. His earth dragon points had exceeded 100 million and reached 130 million. In the 7,000th year, Morong Yu had stepped into the quasi-god realm. This was the true quasi-god realm, not the power of the previous quasi-god realm. His strength had increased to 150 million. In the 8,000th year, Morong Yu had reached the mid-stage quasi-god realm. With 200 million earth dragon points, it was very terrifying. He had already surpassed the deity that descended from the divine world. In the 9,000th year, Morong Yu's realm and strength had reached the true limit. The peak of the late-stage quasi-god realm, 300 million earth dragon points. After this realm, unless he went to the divine world to continue cultivating, his strength and realm would never increase if he continued to stay in the immortal world. Morong Yu knew that it was finally time for him to leave the immortal world and ascend to the divine world. It was true that he was an invincible existence in the immortal world and had a happy family. However, Morong Yu still wanted to pursue the pinnacle of strength. After all, no matter how strong an immortal was, there was still a limit to his lifespan. What he wanted was the pinnacle of strength, the heavenly Tao, and even immortality. Only by being immortal and indestructible could they be together forever. Now, once their lifespan was exhausted, they would die. Murong Yu cherished the people around him very much. Therefore, he would not let any of his family or friends die. Therefore, he wanted to become even stronger and let the people around him become stronger with him. In the end, he would become immortal and become the pinnacle existence in this world. In 1,000 years I will undergo the tribulation. After I succeed, I will ascend to the divine world. In the last 1,000 years, I will accompany them. Chapter 8:16 Immortal Realm, Primordial Wilderness Continent, Ascension City. The Ascension City was where the Ascension Platform was located. In the Immortal Realm, there were many similar Ascension Cities on many continents, and each Ascension City corresponded to one or more Immortal Realms. When these people who ascended from the Immortal World tore the passageway between the God Realm and the Immortal World and entered the passageway to ascend to the God Realm, they would be attracted by a special force of the God Realm, which would allow them to appear directly on the Ascension Platform. It was not like when a mortal ascended to the Immortal World and appeared in the Immortal World. In the Ascension City, 3 huge altars stood there. There was no one around, and it was very quiet. These huge altars were the Ascension Platforms. All of a sudden, one of the 3 Ascension altars that had been silent for a long time suddenly flashed with 7-colored light. Instantly, everyone in the Ascension City saw the rainbow light. How many years has it been? Finally, someone has ascended. Seeing the Ascension Platform flashing with divine light, countless people looked towards the Ascension Platform. At the same time, some people even started to fly towards the Ascension Platform. Let's go and see which immortal realm did someone ascend from? Is it the Mystic Dragon Immortal Realm or the Tai Mo Immortal Realm? Although the Ascension City was not big, there were still many immortals living here. And after seeing the Ascension Platform flashing with golden light, many people were curious and rushed towards the center of the city where the Ascension Platform was. A pity that the Mystic Dragon Immortal Realm and the Tai Mo Immortal Realm are both large immortal realms, and people often ascend. However, other continents also have their ascension platforms. Our primordial wilderness continent is too weak, and our godly power cannot pull them to our ascension platform. Someone shook his head helplessly. Some ascension platforms of the immortal realms were not only found in one place, but in many different places. Moreover, on the higher-level continents they were even more powerful. People who ascended from the same immortal realm would often be pulled to stronger continent. Are you sure it's the Mystic Dragon Immortal Realm or the Tai Mo Immortal Realm that ascended, and not the Yen Huang Immortal Realm? You have to know that the Yen Huang Immortal Realm only has one ascension platform. Haha! You mean the Yen Huang Immortal Realm? The trashiest immortal realm among the 3,000 immortal realms? No one has ascended to the immortal world for many years. I wonder if they have all gone extinct, someone said with a laugh. The Yen Huang Immortal Realm is extinct? I don't think so. Look, isn't that ascender from the Yen Huang Immortal Realm? Someone suddenly pointed at the ascension platform and laughed. At this moment, only the central platform flickered with light out of the 3 huge platforms in the city. At the same time, a black-robed young man stood on the platform in confusion. He's really someone who ascended from the Yen Huang Immortal Realm. Could it be that the Immortal Realm hasn't been destroyed yet? Someone asked in confusion. But who would have an answer for him? This is the God Realm? Murong Yu stood on the ascension platform and scanned his surroundings. It was definitely similar to the God Realm. Moreover, what made him most depressed was that everyone around him was looking at him with incomparably astonished eyes. Do I look different from them? But everyone had black hair, black eyes, and yellow skin. How was it different? However, why were they looking at him with such astonishment? Kid, you're the one who ascended? You ascended from the Yen Huang immortal realm? At this moment, a loud roar came from afar. Then, a group of people with murderous auras rushed over from afar. Everywhere they passed, the passers-by gave way. It's young Master Linghu. Seeing the group of murderous people coming over, the surrounding people retreated to the sides, their faces showing their anger but not daring to speak. A young man around the age of 25 appeared on the ascension stage. With an arrogant expression, he looked at Murong Yu and indifferently said, "Brat, I'll give you a chance. Become my servant and I'll nurture you so that you can condense your godhead and divine body as soon as possible. Otherwise, your good days will come to an end." As he spoke, the lackeys beside him stared at Murong Yu with murderous gazes, revealing their murderous intent. Perhaps, as long as Murong Yu said no, they would immediately kill Murong Yu. Feeling the powerful aura from the group, Murong Yu took a deep breath, dissipating the anger and endless murderous intent in his heart. He smiled at young Master Linghu and asked mildly, "Before that, can I ask you a question?" "You want to ask why I want to take you as my servant?" "It's simple, because you're an ascender. Ascenders have great potential, even greater than the majority of people in the immortal realm. In the God realm, almost every ascender is the target of the various large sects and clans fighting over their disciples. In the primordial continent, the Ascension City Lord is one of the strongest forces. Do you know who I am?" "Young Master Linghu." "Who is young Master Linghu?" "The Ascension City Lord is my father. Therefore, if you become my servant, I'll nurture you. I'll let you become the strongest existence in the primordial continent in a short period of time." Young Master Linghu said mildly. His tone was filled with self-righteous arrogance. "So it's another spoiled brat. His strength is only SOSO, and he only knows how to intimidate others." Murong Yu sneered in his heart. Looking at the people around him, his face sank. He had just ascended, and his divine body had yet to condense. Most importantly, he had yet to condense a godhead. In the immortal realm, those without a godhead were the lowest existences. Anyone with a godhead could kill him. When ordinary people ascended to the immortal realm, they would either be recruited by various sects to cultivate, or find a secret place to condense a godhead and divine body. Once they became gods, their potential could be unleashed. "Is the City Lord very powerful?" Murong Yu could not help but ask. "My father is one of the strongest people in the primordial continent, reaching the pinnacle of the true God realm. The City Lord residence is naturally one of the strongest forces in the primordial continent." "All right, enough nonsense. Quickly become my servant and follow me back to the City Lord residence." Young Master Linghu waved his hand impatiently, as if he felt that he had spoken too much today. In truth, young Master Linghu was also very excited. He was very envious of the potential of ascenders, and had long wanted to take one as his servant. However, of the 3 ascension platforms in the Ascension City, 2 of them corresponded to the immortal realm. When they ascended, they were taken to other continents. Almost no one from the flame-yellow continent had ascended. At the very least, young Master Linghu had never seen anyone from the flame-yellow immortal realm ascend. Now that he saw Murong Yu, how could he not be happy? A mere quasi-god. As long as I condense a godhead, I should be able to kill him. "You want to take me as your servant? You must be tired of living." Murong Yu's killing intent surged. Immediately, he jumped off the ascension platform and walked to the side. "Kid, where are you going?" Young Master Linghu's face darkened. "Sorry, I'm not interested in becoming your servant." Murong Yu smiled coldly. If young Master Linghu had kindly invited Murong Yu to join the City Lord residence, perhaps he would have reluctantly agreed. But to take him in as a servant? It was already good enough that Murong Yu didn't kill him on the spot. "Are you toying with me? Damn it, take him down and beat him half to death. I'll take control of his soul." Young Master Linghu roared in anger. Immediately, the deity-rank servants beside him charged towards Murong Yu with flickering figures. Their auras surged, and their killing intent spread, enveloping the area around the ascension platform. Even the weakest god is so strong. He's 1,000,000 times stronger than a quasi-god. Murong Yu's expression turned serious. He had just ascended. Although he was strong, he didn't have the confidence to kill a god in the realm of the gods. Moreover, it seemed that this wasn't as simple as a mere god. Young Master Linghu, don't go overboard. Otherwise, it won't be good for either of us. Murong Yu secretly raised his strength to the limit, while speaking to young Master Linghu. Not good, my ass. Take him down. Don't beat him to death. I want him to be my servant. Young Master Linghu roared. Damn you! Murong Yu was furious. His body flashed, and he took a step forward, then flew towards the city gates. He couldn't stay in Ascension City any longer. It was obvious that the city lord residents had the upper hand. Everyone else was angry, but they didn't dare say anything. The only thing he could do now was to leave Ascension City and find a place to condense a godhead. Where do you think you're going? Seeing that Murong Yu was about to escape, young Master Linghu's men chased after him. At the true god realm, he still couldn't fly. However, as a true god, their speed was still extremely fast. Even though Murong Yu had increased his speed to the limit, he was still only slightly ahead of them. Murong Yu grumbled in his heart, the difference in cultivation level is too great. Immortals have a natural advantage over immortals. If we were at the same cultivation level, why would I need to run? I'm the master of the Yen Huang immortal realm, and now I'm being chased after by a few weaklings. This is infuriating. Murong Yu was furious. He wanted to turn around and fight with these people, and even kill young Master Linghu. But he knew that if he killed young Master Linghu in Ascension City, he would die without a doubt. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The group was extremely fast. They rushed out of Ascension City like streaks of light, and rushed towards the mountains in the distance. Once they entered the endless mountains, these people who couldn't fly naturally wouldn't be able to find Murong Yu. Once Murong Yu condensed his godhead and immortal body, he would return to Ascension City and kill young Master Linghu and the others. Chapter 8:17. However, while the idea was good, reality was cruel. Not far from the city was an endless stretch of mountains. Even though it was only tens of millions of miles away, Murong Yu still felt like such a long distance. Murong Yu had just rushed out of the city when young Master Linghu's men chased after him. Especially among them, the true god realm should be the strongest. In a flash, he had already rushed behind Murong Yu and slapped his hand towards Murong Yu. The space in the divine world was many times stronger than the immortal world. Ordinary true gods would not be able to break through the void of the divine world. However, the person who attacked was very powerful. Although he could not break through the void, he was able to create a series of explosions in the void. He's at least a middle true god. Murong Yu was filled with killing intent. In the divine world, those who could condense the divine world were called true gods. True gods were the lowest level of existence among all the true gods. Among the true gods there was the true god realm. In the Yuan Huang continent, true god realm experts, such as the city lord of the Ascension City, were definitely the overlords of the Yuan Huang continent. Murong Yu's figure flickered as he dodged his opponent's attack in an instant. In the divine world, true gods' attacks were many times stronger than quasi-gods, but their attack range was not large. After all, the space here was greatly suppressed. True gods could not even fly. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The group of people chased and fled. Soon, they were far away from the Ascension City. However, Murong Yu was not familiar with the divine world. He had just ascended and the divine world had a certain degree of suppression on him. Although his speed was fast, it was not too fast. He could not shake off the people chasing after him. Damn it! I might as well go all the way and kill them all. Since I just ascended to the divine world, I have nothing. I'll just take their godhood and use it as a source of power." Morong Yu was furious. His body flickered and he suddenly stopped running. A dignified lord of the immortal world was being chased by a piece of trash. This made him very angry. "Kid, you're finally not running? You know that you can't escape, right? Let me tell you, this area is filled with the forces of Ascension City. Even if you escape into the Divine Mountain, I can still let the true body-level powerhouses of Ascension City find you, then control your soul and become my most loyal servant." Prince Linghu also caught up. His strength wasn't bad. He should have reached the middle true god realm. Morong Yu looked at young Master Linghu with a gloomy face and said coldly, "You think you've got me? This place is already a certain distance away from the Ascension City. Even if I kill you here, your city lord father might not know about it, right?" "Ha ha ha!" Prince Linghu suddenly burst into laughter. He thought that Morong Yu was too funny. An ascender who had yet to condense a godhead and condense a godbody dared to boast about killing him, a mid-true god? If this was not a joke, then what was? If that's the case, then I'll show you what a true god is. I'll let you know the difference between a mortal and a true god. All of you back off." Prince Linghu sneered and ordered the guards to back off. Step by step, he walked towards Morong Yu. Seeing Prince Linghu walking towards him, Morong Yu's face turned serious. He didn't think that true gods were much stronger than him. In fact, he was stronger than most true gods. 300 million Earth Dragon power. However, Morong Yu also knew that the difference between true gods and immortals was huge. Everyone below true gods were mortals. Not only in terms of status but also in terms of strength. Among immortals, the highest quality of strength was the Earth Dragon power. After becoming a true god, their strength would turn into the Azure Dragon power. Moreover, those who condensed a godhead were recognized by the divine realm. Unknowingly, true gods could borrow a certain amount of strength from the divine realm. In other words, the divine realm had a strengthening effect on true gods. In this situation, since both sides were true gods, there was no suppression effect. However, Morong Yu hadn't condensed a godhead yet and hadn't been recognized by the divine realm. In fact, the divine realm had a certain degree of suppression on him. As a result, Morong Yu's situation was extremely disadvantageous to him. In fact, Morong Yu couldn't even unleash all of his strength. However, Morong Yu thought that his current strength was more than enough to deal with an ordinary true god. Boom! Morong Yu hardened his heart and took a step forward. The enormous force of his step created a deep crater in the ground. Borrowing the force from the crater, Morong Yu soared into the air and threw a punch at Linghu Gongzi. "You're overestimating yourself." Prince Linghu sneered and threw a punch. However, he only used a little of his strength. He didn't want to kill Morong Yu. He wanted to subdue Morong Yu and make him his servant. How great was the potential of an ascender! He could even nurture Morong Yu into an expert surpassing the true god realm in a short period of time. By then, the City Lord Mansion would become the true overlord of the primordial continent. However, Prince Linghu's face changed quickly. He felt a sense of threat from Morong Yu's aura. Just as he was about to increase his strength, Morong Yu's punch landed on his fist. Bang! Young Master Linghu seemed to have suffered a heavy blow. A huge force surged, and Prince Linghu's body shook violently. He was sent flying. "So this is all a true god can do," Morong Yu sneered and took a step forward. His invincible divine fist chased after Prince Linghu. This was his first time fighting with a true god realm expert. In the beginning, he didn't have much confidence in himself. After all, he was just an immortal, while Prince Linghu was a true god. Morong Yu instinctively felt that his opponent was stronger than him. Therefore, he wasn't prepared to fight at the beginning. But now, after exchanging blows, he realized that true gods weren't that strong. In fact, true gods, even the weakest true gods, were many times stronger than immortals. they could crush an ascender with a single finger. However, Murong Yu wasn't an ordinary ascender. He was many times stronger than the average ascender. The stronger ones had yet to condense a godhead, but their strength wasn't any weaker than a true god. Murong Yu's speed was extremely fast as he rushed forward and threw out a series of punches. Powerful energy continuously blasted out. He wanted to kill Prince Linghu. However, Prince Linghu's reaction wasn't slow either. After being sent flying by Murong Yu's punch, Prince Linghu reacted quickly. Murong Yu let out a furious roar as a divine radiance suddenly erupted from his body. His berserk aura caused ripples to appear in the surrounding space as he charged towards Murong Yu. Murong Yu wasn't afraid at all. He rushed forward and burst out with powerful combat strength, fighting Prince Linghu. During the battle, Murong Yu felt that the suppression of the God realm was getting weaker and weaker. The rejection between him and the God realm was also getting weaker and weaker. Murong Yu knew that the God realm was gradually accepting him. As long as he condensed a godhead, he would be recognized by the God realm. Motherf *Ker, is this bastard really an ascender who just ascended? He's actually able to fight me to a standstill. He's even getting stronger. The more they fought, the more shocked Prince Linghu became. At the same time, he became more excited. The stronger Murong Yu was, the more potential he had. If he could subdue him, when Prince Linghu unleashed his full strength, Murong Yu wasn't his match at all. He was at a disadvantage. However, as Murong Yu became more familiar with the God realm, his combat strength grew stronger. At this point, Prince Linghu was no longer able to suppress him. In fact, it was Murong Yu's turn to suppress Prince Linghu. Fighting is the best way to increase one's strength. It's also the best way to familiarize oneself with one's strength. Not bad. The more Murong Yu fought, the more excited he became. He almost couldn't hold back his laughter. I'm actually at a disadvantage. He's just an ascender, a mortal who hasn't condensed a godhead. How can he be stronger than me? No, I can't let him continue to grow. Prince Linghu was furious. He knew that Murong Yu was using the battle as an opportunity to grow stronger. All of you attack together. Just don't kill him. Prince Linghu finally ordered his guards to attack. Immediately, the guards, who had been on alert, unleashed a terrifying aura and charged in. In an instant, Murong Yu was in danger. Murong Yu wouldn't have a problem dealing with 1 or 2 guards. However, Murong Yu wasn't a match for a large group of people. At least for now, he wasn't a match for them. God's descent. Murong Yu revealed his killing intent. This was the first time he had used a divine ability in the God realm. When the huge golden figure appeared, it didn't disappoint Murong Yu. Its power was still as terrifying as before. At this moment, Prince Linghu and the others were distracted. Taking advantage of this fleeting opportunity, Murong Yu roared. He gathered all his strength on his fists and fiercely punched an early-stage true god guard. Bang! Before the early-stage true god could even react, his body had already been blown apart by Murong Yu and turned into a bloody mist. He couldn't be more dead than he already was. A 2-finger-wide godhead that was emitting a faint halo burst out and fell to the ground. Murong Yu took a step forward and grabbed the godhead with his hand. Just as he was about to throw the godhead into the Hichu Luoshu world, his expression changed. This was because the godhead couldn't be placed in the Hichu Luoshu world. He could still sense the existence of Hichu Luoshu, but he couldn't contact it. He couldn't use it. At the same time, Prince Linghu and the others reacted. Kill him! Seeing that Murong Yu had killed one of his guards, Prince Linghu's face turned ashen. With a roar, he rushed forward. You're courting death. He couldn't contact Hichu Luoshu. He wondered what had happened. Murong Yu was irritated. He put the godhead away and charged at Linghu Gongzi with murderous intent. Chapter 8:18. Bang! Murong Yu took a step forward and punched another early-stage true god away. Then, Murong Yu fiercely stomped his foot on the ground, creating a huge crater. Huge cracks spread out in all directions like a spiderweb. Murong Yu borrowed the force and leaped into the air. In the air, he spun and stomped on the chest of the true god with the heart-ripping lung dragon claw kick. After a loud explosion, the true god let out a miserable shriek. Murong Yu stomped on him and turned him into a bloody mist. A divine spark that emitted a faint halo fell out. Murong Yu grabbed it and kept it in his bosom. Murong Yu instantly exploded with power and killed 2 people in a row. Linghu Gongzi was stunned. He couldn't believe that an ascender could kill a true god. Moreover, it was 2 true gods in a row. Although these 2 true gods were the weakest among true gods, they were still a true god. No matter how weak they were still true gods. They were millions of times stronger than true gods. Kill him! At this moment, Linghu Gongzi felt that he had made a grave mistake. At this moment, Murong Yu gave him an extremely dangerous feeling. His life was in danger. Linghu Gongzi even had a frightening thought. He felt that if this continued, he would be killed by Murong Yu. He didn't want to die, so he went all out. Today, all of you will die. Murong Yu's anger completely exploded. At this moment, it was as if his strength had been enhanced and he had become even more powerful. The battle character art could now increase Murong Yu's strength by 5 times. When Murong Yu circulated the battle character art with all his might, his strength became even stronger. At the same time, Murong Yu used the army character art to attack Linghu Gongzi like a dart. Kill! Prince Linghu bellowed as he unleashed his strongest attack towards Murong Yu along with several others. Nearly 10 true gods had besieged a newly ascended cultivator. If news of this spread out, Murong Yu's name would definitely shake the entire primordial desolate continent. His strength had increased, and the suppression of the god realm on him had lessened. Murong Yu's current strength was comparable to a mid-stage true god. Those early true gods weren't a match for Murong Yu at all. They were killed with a few punches from Murong Yu. Bang! 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 Murong Yu unleashed his invincible might, killing all the early true gods one after another. In the end, only Prince Linghu and another mid-true god realm guard were left. At this time, Murong Yu's entire body was bathed in blood. His murderous aura soared as he used the flying cloud 4 steps to step into the air. His momentum was majestic as he attacked Murong Yu. Speaking of the flying cloud 4 steps technique, it was only an ordinary technique in the mortal world. It could temporarily borrow force to step in the void. What Murong Yu didn't expect was that he would have to use this most ordinary combat skill again after becoming an immortal or a god. This also made Murong Yu realize that there was no such thing as trash combat skills, only trash people. Even the trashiest battle skill would have a world-shaking, world-destroying power when used by a powerhouse. Madman, he's definitely a madman. Young Master Linghu's face turned pale when he saw Murong Yu walking through the air like an ancient god of death. Although his strength was not bad, he had reached the middle stage of the true god realm. However, as the son of Ascension City's city lord, one of the giants of the Provenance continent, he had never seen such a scene before. Usually, no one would dare to make a move against him. Kill him! Young Master Linghu roared. Although the guard was frightened, he still charged towards Murong Yu. Prince Linghu, on the other hand, turned around and fled toward Ascension City. This guy actually ran away without a fight. Moreover, Murong Yu knew that this guy wasn't just running away. He would definitely go back to get reinforcements. Who knows, there might even be a true god expert coming to kill him. Murong Yu might be powerful, but if he were to face a true god expert, he'd definitely be killed in an instant. In the immortal dimension, the gap between every single realm was like a natural chasm, and the difference couldn't be measured by the Tao. I can't let him escape. Murong Yu's eyes flashed with a cold light. God's descent. Dark Demon Prajna. Omnidirectional kill. At this moment, Morong Yu used God's Descent again and supplemented it with other ultimate moves. God's Descent was extremely heaven-defying. Although the intermediate True God expert had been hit once before, he was prepared this time. However, it was useless. In an instant, he lost his mind again. In an instant, all of his movements came to a standstill. Then, this instant was enough for Morong Yu to take his life. All kinds of ultimate moves were used as hundreds of millions of Earth Dragon energy bombarded the middle stage True God's body. This middle stage True God was many times stronger than an early stage True God. However, he still couldn't resist Morong Yu's violent attacks. The raging waves of energy exploded on the middle stage True God's body and blasted him into millions of pieces. Where do you think you're going? After killing the middle stage True God, Morong Yu stepped into the air and turned into a ray of divine light to chase after young Master Linghu. At the same time, he used one ultimate move after another to attack young Master Linghu. When young Master Linghu saw how Morong Yu killed a guard of the same level as him in an instant, he was already scared out of his wits. How would he dare to fight back? They just kept rushing towards the Ascension City. However, he had no choice but to dodge Morong Yu's attacks. Therefore, his speed naturally slowed down. Space Barrier. Space Imprisonment. Space Tremor. At this moment, Morong Yu suddenly used the law of space. It was an ultimate move of space. Previously, he didn't use the law of space because the divine world suppressed him too much. Even if he could control the law of space with his current strength, it wouldn't have much effect. However, in order to prevent young Master Linghu from escaping, he could only use the law of space. However, soon, Morong Yu was pleasantly surprised. Due to the suppression of the divine world, all kinds of combat skills of the law of space were suppressed. However, it was only suppressed. It was still effective. As a matter of fact, young Master Linghu's body suddenly stopped for a moment. Although it was only for a moment, in a battle between experts, an instant could kill someone a few billion times. Die for me. Morong Yu let out a roar as his figure swooped down like an ancient rock. Several 100 million units of Earth Dragon energy gathered in his fist as he punched out at Linghu Gongzi. Young Master Linghu was shocked. Since he couldn't escape, he could only use a punch to counterattack. Bang! Young Master Linghu spat out a mouthful of blood. His entire body was sent flying by Morong Yu like a broken rag doll. A powerful force slammed into his body, causing cracks to appear all over his body. Die! Morong Yu roared. He leaped forward and attacked the injured young Master Linghu. You can't kill me. If you kill me, my father won't let you go. You'll die no matter where you go. Young Master Linghu roared in fear. However, he still used his power to block Morong Yu's attack. However, he wasn't Morong Yu's opponent after being injured. Once again, Morong Yu's attack caused him to spit out blood and send him flying. Numerous ghastly wounds had appeared on his body from the bombardment, and countless meridians within his body had been shattered. Young Master Linghu was truly afraid. Morong Yu let out a low roar and charged forward again. He had always been ruthless to his enemies. After all, being merciful to your enemies was being cruel to yourself. With young Master Linghu's temperament, if Morong Yu didn't kill him, he wouldn't be grateful. Instead, he would go back and gather experts to hunt him down. Since he was already at odds with the Ascension City's City Lord Mansion, he might as well kill young Master Linghu. He would kill as many as he could. My father won't let you go. Young Master Linghu's voice could be heard from afar. However, he had already been turned into a bloody mist by Morong Yu. I feel like I'm about to condense a godhead. I'll leave the Ascension City immediately and find a secluded place to cultivate. As long as I condense a godhead, I won't be afraid no matter how strong the Ascension City is. Morong Yu was about to leave after collecting young Master Linghu and the others' godheads and storage rings. Asterisk clap clap. Asterisk however, at that moment, a round of applause could be heard. At the same time, two people walked out from not far away. Murong Yu, your strength is indeed extraordinary. It hasn't even been a day since you ascended and you've already killed more than 10 people. There were even mid-stage true gods. However, that's all you've got. The people you killed were all trash. One of them looked at Murong Yu and sneered. Murong Yu was shocked. From what he said, it seemed like these two people had been hiding nearby, and he hadn't noticed them. Looking at them, Suemo couldn't see through their strength at all. They were at least late-stage true gods. A late-stage true god was much stronger than a mid-stage true god. It could even be said that a late-stage true god could kill a mid-stage true god in an instant. Of course, what surprised Murong Yu the most wasn't their strength, but how did they know his name? It hadn't even been a day since he ascended and he hadn't even mentioned his name before. Looking at the two of them, it seemed like they had been waiting for him for a long time. Why are you talking nonsense with him? This trash made us wait in this godforsaken place for 10,000 years. If it wasn't for the young master's order, I would have left long ago. Hurry up and kill him so that we can report back. I'm tired of this rubbish place, the other person said impatiently as he closed in on Murong Yu. Chapter 8:19. Are you guys from the Divine Union? Murong Yu guessed their identities after hearing their conversation. Only the people from the Divine Union would know about him. However, what surprised Murong Yu was that Bastard Ji had actually sent someone to guard him for another 10,000 years. Wasn't it just killing one of his physical bodies? Anyway, he wasn't dead yet. How could he be so petty? From this, Murong Yu could see how much Ji Hao held grudges. His hatred for him was definitely unresolvable. Kid, you are very smart and you are pretty strong. However, from the moment you started going against the young master, you were destined to die. Now go to hell. The powerhouse who was rushing towards Murong Yu suddenly shouted and threw a punch at Murong Yu. You want to kill me? It won't be that easy. Murong Yu shouted angrily. Instantly, he circulated his maximum strength and threw out a punch of his own. Boom! The two fists fiercely collided with each other, and an earth-shattering sound erupted. A terrifying shockwave erupted, causing the surrounding void to tremble and ripple. At this moment, Murong Yu felt as if he'd received a heavy blow. He felt as if he'd been struck by an ancient divine mountain. The powerful force sent him flying. On top of that, Murong Yu also heard the bones in his arm break. With this blow, the bones in Murong Yu's arm broke inch by inch. Furthermore, the powerful force surged into Murong Yu's body, causing the blood in Murong Yu's body to churn. His meridians were on the verge of exploding. With a "p" sound, Murong Yu couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. He couldn't even withstand a single blow and was injured right from the start. The late-stage Celestial couldn't help but exclaim in surprise when he saw that he hadn't killed Murong Yu with a single blow. It should be known that although the punch just now did not contain 100% of its power, it still used 90% of its power. 90% of his strength was actually unable to kill Murong Yu, an ascender? At this moment the late-stage true god sneered, "Old Wang, you can't do it anymore. Men can't not do it." Old Wang, who was the one who attacked Murong Yu, had a gloomy expression on his face. Immediately, he took a step forward. Great power radiated from the soles of his feet, causing huge cracks to appear on the ground beneath him. They spread into the distance like spiderwebs. He borrowed the force of the explosion to soar into the air and pounced toward Murong Yu once again. Bang! The strength and speed of a late-stage true god were far superior to a mid-stage true god. Before Murong Yu could even react, Old Wang's fist once again smashed into his body. Asterisk crack. Asterisk Murong Yu could even hear the sound of his own body breaking apart. Fresh blood spurted out once again as Murong Yu was sent flying once again. However, although Murong Yu's body had yet to condense into a divine body, it was still strong enough. He wasn't destroyed by Old Wang's punch. However, Morong Yu wasn't in a good state either. The life energy in his body began to surge crazily, repairing his injured body. The difference between a late-stage true god and a mid-stage true god is too great. I can kill a mid-stage true god, but I'm no match for a late-stage true god. If a late-stage true god is already so powerful, then how terrifying would a true god, who is one realm higher than a true god, be? If I condensed a godhead, wouldn't it be easy to kill a late-stage true god? Unfortunately, I haven't condensed a godhead yet. No, I must escape. I must escape. Morong Yu glared fiercely at Old Wang and Old Wang. Then, when Old Wang attacked again, his body flashed and he flew into the distance. If the young master wants you to die, you can't live. You can't escape. Just as Morong Yu's body flashed and he was about to escape, another late-stage true god from the divine union appeared in front of him in a flash. At the same time, he kicked at Morong Yu. He didn't even bother to use his hands to deal with Morong Yu. Morong Yu's face changed drastically. The speed of a late-stage true god was too fast. He was definitely above him. If things continued to develop like this, he would definitely die. He couldn't sense the Hichu Luoshu, the heavenly punishment order, etc. All of Morong Yu's belongings were in the Hichu Luoshu world. His weapons and other resources were all in the Hichu Luoshu world. At this moment, Morong Yu could only use the phoenix spear that had been nurturing in his energy center. However, Morong Yu had yet to condense his divine spark and become a true god. The phoenix spear was still an immortal weapon and not a divine weapon. It wouldn't be of much use to Morong Yu. Do I have to escape back to the immortal world? This thought flashed through Morong Yu's mind. Then, he shook his head. He could escape back to the immortal world and these two true gods wouldn't be able to stop him. However, Morong Yu didn't want to escape back to the immortal world after less than a day. This would make him lose all his self-esteem and dignity. The dignity of an expert wouldn't allow him to escape back to the immortal world. Since the Ascension City and the Divine Union want to kill me, I have to escape. I have to survive in the immortal world. Not only did he have to survive, but he also had to become an expert and flatten the Ascension City and the Divine Union. This was the heart of an expert. He had to walk through adversity. Flying cloud 4-step. Morong Yu stepped into the air without hesitation and avoided the other party's attack. At the same time, he flew into the distance. Get down here! Old Wang rushed forward and reached out his hand to grab Morong Yu. He wanted to grab Morong Yu from the void and kill him. Deity's descent. Morong Yu roared in his heart and once again used the mind-affecting ultimate technique. At the same time, various space law battle techniques erupted. Their purpose was to stop these two people and make it easier for him to escape. However, Morong Yu was disappointed. Regardless of whether it was Deity's descent or other space shackles, they were useless against Old Wang and Old Wang. It wasn't that these battle techniques weren't strong enough. It was just that Morong Yu was too weak and the gap between him and Old Wang was too big. Boom! Old Wang's punch almost shattered the void, causing an ear-piercing explosion to erupt in the void. It directly bombarded Morong Yu's body. Crack! Morong Yu's body caved in from the force of the punch. Even his internal organs were on the verge of shattering. He spat out a mouthful of blood once again. At the same time, the other late true god also pressed down with his palm and directly slapped Morong Yu down from the void. Puff! Morong Yu spat out a mouthful of blood. He saw that more than half of his body had been damaged. With such an injury, even if his life force was heaven-defying, it was still an injury that couldn't be healed in a short period of time. Moreover, there were still remnants of Old Wang and Old Wang's power in his body. These divine powers wreaked havoc in Morong Yu's body and destroyed everything in Morong Yu's body. Phantom light wings. Morong Yu roared in his heart, I hope I can fly. Otherwise, I can only run back to the immortal world with my tail between my legs. Morong Yu didn't want to lose his dignity and be beaten back to the immortal world less than a day after he ascended. However, he was definitely not a pedantic person. Dignity and self-respect were the foundation of life. Without life, everything would be gone. Rumble, as Morong Yu roared in his heart, a pile of huge black wings appeared on Morong Yu's back. Then, Old Wong and Old Wong saw Black's huge black wings flashing violently. Then, they saw a shocking scene. With a swish, Morong Yu turned into a stream of light and soared into the sky. He flew away? Old Wong and Old Wong looked at each other. They didn't expect Morong Yu, an ascender, to be able to fly in the sky. However, they, who were in the true God realm, couldn't fly. Want to fly? Yes, as long as they reached the true God realm, they could fly. However, flying was something that consumed a lot of divine power. Under normal circumstances, even true gods and even heavenly gods wouldn't fly for a long period of time. Especially during a battle, they had to maintain their peak strength at all times. If they were to fly, it wouldn't increase their speed of travel but increase their speed of death. At this moment, Morong Yu was touched. Previously, when he performed the flying cloud 4 steps, he didn't feel that it consumed much energy. After all, he wasn't flying. He was only borrowing the force to stay in the void for a short period of time. At this moment, when he was really flying, he felt that the energy in his body was being consumed crazily. Even with the life force in his body, the energy converted couldn't keep up with the speed of his energy consumption. I can only fly for half a day at most. After half a day, my energy will be exhausted. Morong Yu unwillingly glanced at Old Wong and Old Wong from the center of the sky. Then, with a flap of his wings, he turned into a streak of light and flew forward. He wanted to kill Old Wong and Old Wong. With his advantage of being able to fly, he could kill Old Wong and Old Wong. However, he had consumed too much energy. Perhaps before he could kill Old Wong and Old Wong, his energy would be exhausted. Moreover, he had killed young Master Linghu. At this moment, the city master of Ascension City must have known that his precious son was killed. He would probably chase after him. Rumble, at this moment, a terrifying aura suddenly erupted from the direction of Ascension City in the distance. It was enough to intimidate the entire universe. A voice that was filled with extreme anger could be faintly heard. "Who is it? Who killed my son? Who is it?" The voice was violent and extremely furious. At that moment, Morong Yu even felt an extremely terrifying aura that could crush him to death with a single finger. It was an aura that was countless times stronger than Old Wong and Old Wong's. It was rapidly approaching them from the direction of the Ascension City. City Master of Ascension City, Peak Late True God. He's an overlord of the primordial wilderness continent. Feeling the frightening pressure, Morong Yu jumped in fright. He frantically flapped his wings and fled into the distance. Chapter 820. Boom. After Morong Yu escaped, a figure rushed down from the sky like a falling star and appeared at the scene where young Master Linghu had been killed. It was a middle-aged man with a fair complexion. However, he looked furious at the moment. He was the city governor of Ascension City, Linghu Changtian. He was at the peak of the late-stage true God realm and was very likely to enter the heavenly God realm. After Linghu Changtian appeared, his spirit consciousness spread out wildly and flickered in the surroundings. However, he did not discover anything. Linghu Changtian snorted angrily and grabbed with his hand. Suddenly, a blurry image appeared in front of him. It was the scene where Morong Yu had killed Morong Changtian. Although the image was blurry, one could basically make out the appearance of young Master Linghu and Morong Yu. What an ascender! I'm going to crush your bones and scatter your ashes. I'm going to extract your soul and refine it into a weapon spirit so that you'll be tortured forever. Linghu Changtian roared. His boundless hatred soared up to the sky. It was so terrifying that even the gods and ghosts would weep. When the two divine union powerhouses saw Ling Hu Changtian's hatred, they could not help but shudder. Then, they wanted to leave this place. However, Ling Hu Changtian looked at old Wang and young Master Ling Hu. How could a mere ascender kill my son? The two of you appeared nearby. Could it be that you killed my son? If that's the case, you can leave with my son. Ling Hu Changtian roared angrily. With a step, he crossed countless spacetime and appeared in front of old Wang and young Master Ling Hu. He stretched out his hand and enveloped the two of them. Old Wang and young Master Ling Hu were furious. How dare someone from the Ascension City attack the Divine Union? He was simply courting death. With a roar, old Wang and young Master Ling Hu raised their strength to the limit and punched out fiercely. You still dare to resist? Ling Hu Changtian sneered and shook his hand. The strength of old Wang and young Master Ling Hu was shattered. They were completely vulnerable. At the same time, Ling Hu Changtian's hand reached out and grabbed old Wang and young Master Ling Hu. Then, Ling Hu Changtian's big hand was about to crush old Wang and old Wang. Ling Hu Changtian, you're really courting death. Do you know who we are? We are from the Divine Union. You dare to kill a member of the Divine Union? Old Wang finally felt fear in his heart as he roared furiously. Someone from the Divine Union? Ling Hu Changtian's body trembled as a tinge of fear flashed in his eyes. Although the Divine Union didn't have any forces on the primordial continent, it was still a superpower in the celestial realm. Anyone they sent out could destroy the Ascension City or even the entire primordial continent. Although Ling Hu Changtian was considered a tyrant in the primordial continent, his late-stage true celestial strength was only at the bottom of the Divine Union. Ling Hu Changtian was very afraid of the Divine Union. However, he suspected that old Wang and old Wang were one of the murderers who had killed Ling Hu young master, so he didn't want to let them off. Humph. As long as I kill them, the Divine Union won't know that I'm the one who killed them, no matter how powerful they are. Ling Hu Changtian was determined to kill old Wang and old Wang. Old Wang sneered when he sensed Ling Hu Changtian's killing intent. The two of us are here on the orders of our young master. If we are killed and delay our young master's matters, you, the Ascension City, and the entire primordial continent will be burned by the Divine Union's fury. Ling Hu Changtian, who was about to kill the two of them, didn't dare to do so after hearing this. He was afraid of death. Humph. In that case, I'll let you off. Do you know who killed my son? Where is that person now? Old Wang and old Wang coughed a few times before looking at each other and reading each other's thoughts. The person who killed Ling Hu young master was an ascender who had just ascended today. His name is Murong Yu. I'm here on the orders of our young master to kill him. However, he has now escaped. Old Wang's eyes moved as he said, An ascender killed my son? There were more than 10 true gods guarding him. Even the two of you who are late true gods couldn't stop him? Ling Hu Changtian sneered and looked at old Wang and old Wang coldly. He wouldn't believe old Wang's words. After all, no one would believe him if he said it out loud, unless they saw it with their own eyes. Old Wang and old Wang blushed. They couldn't do anything about it. They couldn't fly and couldn't catch up with Murong Yu. He can fly. It should be a flying treasure. He's heading west. If you go after him now, you should be able to catch up with him, old Wang said in a deep voice as he pointed in the direction Murong Yu left. Don't let me find out that you're lying. Otherwise, as long as you're in the primordial continent, I'll kill you no matter who you are. Ling Hu Changtian looked at old Wang and old Wang deeply before he soared into the sky and chased after Murong Yu. Let's go back and report to the young master that the mission has been completed. Old Wang smiled faintly and turned to leave. That shouldn't be a problem, right? I have a feeling that that kid is very strange. Ling Hu Changtian might not be able to kill him. Ling Hu Changtian is a late true god expert. If he can't kill Murong Yu, then the young master won't blame us. Although Murong Yu is strange, he's dead for sure. He's dead. Aren't you tired of this godforsaken place? Hurry up and leave, Old Wang said as he turned around and left. The other person hesitated for a moment, but still went back in the end. After the two left, Murong Yu's unusual crisis was temporarily resolved. However, an even bigger crisis was quickly approaching him. During the flight, Murong Yu sensed an extremely powerful and terrifying aura rapidly approaching from behind. This aura was more than 1,000,000 times stronger than Old Wang and Old Wang. Murong Yu knew that it was most likely the Ascension City's city lord who was chasing after him. I'm the lord of the immortal realm. I've just ascended to the god realm and I'm being hunted down. This is a big loss of face. Fortunately no one found out. Murong Yu laughed self-mockingly as he raised his strength to the limit and shot forward at high speed. During this process, Murong Yu's body was crazily cleansed by the life force. Although he hadn't fully recovered, he was already 70 to 80% better. At the same time, he also found that his compatibility with the God realm had increased while he was using his strength. In other words, the God realm was gradually accepting him, and the suppression of the God realm on him was getting smaller and smaller. Of course, if he didn't want to be suppressed, he could only condense a godhead. Murong Yu's speed was extremely fast, but a late true god expert was even faster. Not long after, Linghu Changtian caught up. Good thief, let's see where you can run to. When Linghu Changtian saw Murong Yu, anger rose from his heart. He roared and quickly punched at Murong Yu from a distance. A terrifying force that contained a terrifying aura that could destroy heaven and earth blasted directly at Murong Yu. It wanted to kill Murong Yu. Murong Yu's face changed greatly. He roared and flapped his illusory light wings, flying to the other side. Hong Long, the frightening power brushed past Murong Yu's body and smashed into the mountain range below, shattering one of the mountain peaks. Puff. Murong Yu spat out a mouthful of blood. His figure staggered and the illusory light wings on his back were almost scattered. Although he avoided Linghu Changtian's force attack, he was still swept by the aftermath of the force. Although it was just the aftermath of the force, it almost smashed his body. His body, which had almost recovered, was seriously injured again. It was several times more serious than when he was hit by Old Wang and the others. The gap between our strength is too big. Murong Yu felt bitter in his heart. If they were in the immortal world, it would be impossible to seriously injure Murong Yu even if there was a difference of several realms. But in the immortal world, things that were impossible before became possible. Things that were possible in the past had become impossible. For example, Murong Yu could kill people with a difference of several realms in the immortal world. But now? It was absolutely impossible. It was too sad. However, the saddest thing was that Murong Yu found that Linghu Changtian was getting closer and closer. During this process, Linghu Changtian continued to strike out at Yi Shiwen one after another. However, Murong Yu managed to dodge all of the attacks with all his might. But he was still inevitably swept by some of the force's aftermath. As a result, Murong Yu's injury became more serious. The most terrifying thing was that he had consumed too much of his strength. Murong Yu estimated that he could only fly for 2 hours at most with his current strength. But Murong Yu estimated that he could not even last an hour under Linghu Changtian's attack. Damn it, I'll just teleport back to the immortal world and ascend later. But the Yan Huang Immortal World's ascension platform is in the Ascension City. No matter how I ascend, I will always appear in the Ascension City. And if I'm not in the immortal world, I can't condense my godhood and godhood. Hichu Luoshu doesn't know what happened. Damn it. No, I can't escape back to the immortal world. Otherwise, I can only stay in the immortal world and can't ascend. Murong Yu flew quickly, but Linghu Changtian was getting closer and closer. Linghu Changtian's attacks were getting more and more terrifying. Murong Yu was gradually unable to dodge. His injuries were getting more and more serious. He was about to be beaten to death. Suddenly, Linghu Changtian, who was chasing, frowned slightly. Because he knew that not far ahead was the primordial continent's famous forbidden ground, the ghostly realm. The ghostly realm was extremely terrifying. It was said that even experts at the Sky Realm, or even stronger, could never come out after entering the ghostly realm. This was a forbidden ground. Kid, it's a forbidden ground in front of you. You can't escape. Stay here obediently and accept your death. Linghu Changtian laughed maliciously and continued to chase. There was really a strong enemy in front of him and a pursuer behind him. Murong Yu groaned inwardly. Chapter 8:21. Not far ahead, although it looked the same as the surroundings from afar. However, when Murong Yu looked over there, he felt a dangerous aura. It seemed that the place called the Ghost Realm was really full of danger. In fact, the Ghost Realm was really full of danger. Look, before even getting close to the Ghost Realm, Linghu Changtian, a late-stage true god, already had a look of fear on his face. Obviously, the Ghost Realm's reputation was too great. Ordinary people did not dare to get close. Even if Linghu Changtian was a pinnacle expert of the primordial wilderness continent, it was still the same. The so-called most dangerous place is also the safest place. In most dangerous places, Murong Yu has treasures of heaven and earth everywhere. Who knows, there might even be some inheritance or the like. Might as well enter the Ghost Realm. At most, I'll just teleport back to the immortal world when I feel danger. Just as Murong Yu said, there were definitely many treasures in most dangerous places. Some of the treasures had been left behind, while others had been left behind by those who had entered the land of extremis and died. Over time, more and more people entered, but not many came out. Therefore, there were more and more treasures in the dangerous place. Because Murong Yu had something to rely on, he directly rushed to the Ghost Realm. Seeing Murong Yu directly rushing to the Ghost Realm, Linghu Changtian sneered in his heart. However, for the person who killed his son, he would not let off Murong Yu. Prepare to die. Suddenly, Linghu Changtian sped up and crossed countless distances in an instant. He directly rushed to not far behind Murong Yu. At the same time, he gathered his powerful fist and fiercely bombarded Murong Yu. Murong Yu was shocked. He reacted immediately and rushed to the side. However, his reaction speed was fast, but Linghu Changtian's attack was faster. With a bang, Linghu Changtian's fist had already fiercely bombarded Murong Yu's body. A violent and terrifying power erupted. Murong Yu heard the sound of his body breaking. His clothes were instantly turned into fine powder. At the same time, Murong Yu's body cracked open from the bombardment. The clothes he was wearing weren't ordinary clothes. It was a feather armor with powerful defense. However, Linghu Changtian shattered it with a single punch. Moreover, if Murong Yu had not condensed all of his power on the surface of his body in an instant, and at the same time used the power of the spatial laws to block Linghu Changtian's attack, he would have been blasted into a bloody mist. He would be deader than dead. However, even so, Murong Yu definitely did not feel good. Linghu Changtian's power rushed into his body, wreaking havoc in his body, destroying his meridians, flesh, and even bones. Half of his body was smashed to pieces. Although it wasn't blown away, it was only the bones that were connected. Murong Yu knew that this half of his body was crippled. At the very least, it was for the time being. What made Murong Yu even more surprised was that his power was scattered in an instant. In addition to the consumption along the way, his power was completely exhausted at this time. The phantom light wings disappeared from Murong Yu's back in an instant, and Murong Yu was like a meteor, rushing straight into the ghost domain. After drawing a long trajectory in the void, he finally fell heavily on the ground. However, Linghu Changtian stopped in his tracks. He absolutely did not dare to take half a step into the ghost domain. He didn't want to die. He's not dead. Ling Hu Changtian's eyes flickered. In his heart, he was also extremely shocked by Morongyu. Morongyu was very powerful. He was able to kill young Master Ling Hu, who was in the intermediate true god realm. Ling Hu Changtian no longer doubted this. After all, he chased after Morongyu all the way. With his speed, if he didn't use all his strength to suddenly accelerate at the last moment, he was afraid that it would take a long time for him to catch up with Morongyu. Although he didn't chase after Morongyu for long, he saw how terrifying Morongyu's speed was with his own eyes. However, what Ling Hu Changtian didn't know was that even if there was no ghost domain here, Morongyu couldn't run away, because his power was about to be exhausted. Kid, you'll definitely die if you enter the ghost domain. However, just in case, you must not leave the ghost domain. Ling Hu Changtian sneered in his heart. His figure flashed, flew to a high mountain next to him, and then sat down directly. He was unwilling to leave. Although he knew that Morongyu, who was severely injured by him, would definitely die after falling into the ghost domain, he was still worried. However, he was still worried, so he decided to guard this place for a few years. If he didn't come out in a few years, then he would definitely die. Bang! Morongyu was like a boulder as he ruthlessly smashed into the ground. The huge impact made his body, which was already in a mess because of Ling Hu Changtian's divine power, was even more unbearable, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood. Then, Morongyu heard a scream. Soon after, Morongyu could faintly make out a woman rapidly flying over from a short distance away. However, before he could see what the woman looked like when she fell to the ground, his vision suddenly turned black, and he lost consciousness. It's over, in this dangerous ghost domain, I actually lost consciousness and fainted. Does the heavens want me to die? This thought flashed through Morongyu's mind, and then he fainted. Grandpa Village Chief, why hasn't Big Brother woken up yet? His battered body has already recovered, but he still hasn't woken up. His recovery speed is so terrifying. This is the fastest recovery speed this little Xian has ever seen. In a room that could not be considered luxurious, but was very spacious, a man about 25 or 26 years old was lying on the bed. He seemed to have fallen asleep. In front of the bed were a 16 or 17-year-old girl, a youth of similar age, and a white-bearded, kind-looking old man. The voice from before was the voice that the girl had spoken to the old man. The girl's name was Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian, you've never left the village. You haven't seen many people, you, humph. Uncle Lin was also injured at that time. Furthermore, he wasn't as injured as this big brother. Even with the help of many medicinal pellets and treasures, his injuries didn't recover as quickly. No, it's not even a tenth of Big Brother's recovery speed. Xiao Xian glared at the youth and coldly snorted. The youth chuckled, and did not argue with Xiao Xian. He was not good with words, and every time he argued with Xiao Xian, he would definitely lose. Thus, he looked to the old man, the village chief of their village. Village chief, you said that he isn't even a god. He doesn't even have a godhead. How can he have such a terrifying recovery speed? It seems that he doesn't have any treasures on him. If I'm not wrong, he should be an ascender. The village chief's eyes flashed with wisdom as he said calmly. What? He's an ascender? Xiao Xian and the youth could not help but exclaim in surprise. The village chief nodded and continued. Not only is he an ascender, but he ascended not long ago. According to his body's compatibility with the God realm, and the suppression of the God realm on him, he definitely ascended not more than 10 years ago. Less than 10 years after ascending, but he was chased into the ghost realm. Humph, those people must want to capture Big Brother as a slave again. They like to do this kind of thing. Many ascenders are like this. Before they grow up, they are captured and sold as slaves. This Big Brother must be unwilling to be captured, so he escaped to the ghost realm. Xiao Xian's face was full of anger as she spoke. It seemed that she hated those who captured ascenders. If that's the case, he shouldn't be here to spy on the people of our village? The youth scratched the back of his head and said with some annoyance. Humph, our village is deep in the ghost realm. Ordinary people can't enter at all. Xiao Xian snorted coldly. She seemed to be proud that no one had discovered their existence. In the depths of the ghost realm, there was a severely injured youth. That youth was obviously Morong Yu, who was chased by Linghu Changtian and was finally blasted into the ghost realm. However, at this time, Morong Yu's body had recovered, but his consciousness had not yet awakened. This was all thanks to the powerful and heaven-defying Tree of Life. Oh yes, Grandpa Village Chief, since Big Brother is an ascender, and he ascended not long ago, then is he from the Yen Huang immortal world. It seems that Uncle Lin is from the Yen Huang immortal world. Xiao Xian blinked and looked at the village chief. I don't know why the Yen Huang immortal world declined. After so many years, no one has ascended. If he is really from the Yen Huang immortal world. A strange look flashed in the village chief's eyes. No one knew what he was thinking. In fact, he was basically sure that Morong Yu was from the Yen Huang immortal world. This was because people from the other two immortal worlds could not have ascended to the primordial wilderness continent. If Big Brother is from the Yen Huang immortal world, then it would be great. Many people in our village are related to the Yen Huang immortal world, hee. Xiao Xian laughed. Two small dimples hung on her face. They were shallow and looked very cute. Looking at Xiao Xian's smile, the youth did not know why he refuted. Maybe he is from the Xian Long immortal world or the Tai Mo immortal world. He seemed to like bickering with Xiao Xian. Little Tian, do you have to go against your big sister? Xiao Xian put her hands on her hips and glared at the youth, who was Little Tian. Little Tian curled his lip. It's obvious that I'm older than you. Can't I be your big sister just because I'm younger than you? Alright, you two stop fooling around. He's awake. The village chief spoke at this time. As expected, Morong Yu, who was lying on the bed, slowly opened his eyes. First, he looked confused. Then, when he saw Xiao Xian and the other two, he jumped up from the bed. He looked at the three of them warily and said, Who are you people? Why am I here? Where is this place? Chapter 8:22. Young man, don't be nervous. We have no ill intentions towards you. This is the ghost village in the ghost domain. At this moment, the village chief looked at Morong Yu and said with a smile, Existence in the ghost domain? Ghost village? Hearing the village chief's words, Morong Yu's heart suddenly churned like a river overturning the sea. Although he did not have a deep understanding of the ghost domain, Morong Yu had a rough idea of what kind of place the ghost domain was from the words of the peak late true god sage Linghu Changtian. It was definitely a dangerous place that made countless gods tremble in fear. However, at this moment, he was in the depths of the ghost domain, and it was a village in the depths of the ghost domain. There was a village in the ghost domain. Morong Yu was shocked at that moment. At the same time, he looked at the three people in the village. With this look, Morong Yu almost fainted. The three of them were very powerful, although they looked like ordinary people. However, Morong Yu was still sensitive enough to sense the subtle fluctuations coming from their bodies. These fluctuations were not obvious, but Morong Yu could feel that the aura coming from the three of them was countless times stronger than that of Linghu Changtian. In other words, they were at least heavenly gods, much stronger than Linghu Changtian. It was fine if the village chief was powerful, after all, his age was there. However, the strength of Xiao Xian and Little Tian. The two of them looked like they were not even 20 years old, but in fact, their real age was also the same. They were not even 20 years old, and they had already surpassed the true god stage? They could possibly reach the heavenly god stage, or even stronger. How could this not make Morong Yu faint? In fact, in the divine realm, not everyone was a god. There were also mortals in the divine realm. Of course, the mortals they were talking about were only immortal-level existences. These people were the natives of the divine realm, and the divine realm had recognized their existence when they were born. Therefore, the divine realm did not suppress them. Therefore, although their realm was not high, they could live freely in the divine realm. Moreover, because this was the divine realm, their cultivation was extremely fast when they were in the true God stage. Most of them could pass the God tribulation and enter the true God stage. Only the unlucky ones would be blasted into ashes by the divine tribulation. However, Morongyu also knew that although their cultivation was easy in the early stages, once they reached the true God realm, their cultivation speed began to slow down. However, ascenders were different. The true God realm was just the starting point for ascenders. Most of the ascenders could easily surpass the true God realm and reach the true God realm or even higher realms. Heaven was still very fair. The natives of the God world cultivated extremely quickly in the early stages, and almost all of them could become gods. But in the later stages, their potential seemed to have been exhausted. Ascenders, on the other hand, found it difficult to cultivate in the early stages, but after becoming gods, everything was just the beginning. These were all things that Morongyu had learned from Hichu. Indeed, we are in the depths of the ghost domain. Humph, I was the one who saved you. Xiao Xian could not help but snort when she saw Morongyu's shocked and confused expression. Morongyu looked at Xiao Xian and realized that she was an extremely cute and beautiful little girl. Unfortunately, she was still an unripe apple. Vaguely, Morongyu realized that Xiao Xian's figure overlapped with a figure in his mind. That was the blurry figure that he saw before he fainted. It was you guys who saved me, thank you. Morongyu heaved a sigh of relief and sincerely thanked the three of them. If it was not for them saving him, Morongyu would have died in the strange ghost domain. All right, young man, since you are already awake, you can walk around the village. Remember, do not leave the village. It is very dangerous outside. Moreover, I see that you are an ascender who has not condensed a god lattice. The god Yuan Qi in the village is not bad. You can condense a god lattice in the village. You can stay here for the time being. The village leader said indifferently and left without waiting for Morongyu's thank. Big brother, I will accompany you to walk around the village. Xiao Xian smiled, revealing her cute little dimples. She stepped forward and pulled Morongyu to leave. I will go back and cultivate first. Xiao Tian rolled her eyes and left. Morongyu had many doubts in his heart. Seeing that Xiao Xian took the initiative to invite him, he naturally agreed. After walking out of the house, Morongyu realized that this place was different from what he imagined. Not a small mountain village, but a small city. Along the way, Morongyu met many people. The people here were all very ordinary, like the residents of a small city in the mortal world. However, Morongyu knew that this existence called Ghost Village was definitely not simple. Every seemingly ordinary person contained a terrifying power in their bodies. They are all experts. Morongyu smiled and greeted those people in a friendly manner. These people were very friendly and approachable. When they saw Morongyu, they would always smile and greet him. After walking around Ghost Village, Morongyu realized that although Ghost Village was not big, there were at least tens of thousands of people. Moreover, each of them was extremely powerful. Morongyu could only see through those children. Moreover, there were very few of them. What kind of village is this? Everyone is so powerful? Could it be that this is no longer the primordial wilderness continent? Morongyu was shocked. He knew the situation in the immortal realm. In the immortal realm, there were a total of 4 supercontinents. Other than these 4 supercontinents, there were also some small continents. Of course, the so-called small continents were only compared to the vast and boundless immortal realm. For example, the primordial wilderness continent that Morongyu was in was only a small and remote continent in the immortal realm. However, the primordial wilderness continent was many times bigger than the Yen Huang immortal realm. Even the smallest continent in the immortal realm was many times bigger than the immortal realm. Moreover, the continents in the immortal realm had different levels. From level 1 to level 4, level 1 continents were the weakest. Just like the primordial wilderness continent, it was only a level 1 continent. Every level of continent would have restrictions on the immortals on the continent. Cultivating on a level 1 continent would only allow one to reach the peak of the late-stage quasi-god realm. If one wanted to break through to the heavenly god realm, one would have to leave the primordial wilderness continent and go to a higher-level continent. This was just like the immortal realm and the immortal realm, it would increase with each level. Xiao Xian and the rest had definitely surpassed the true god realm. Therefore, Morong Yu suspected if they were still on the primordial wilderness continent. Big brother, you seem to have a lot of questions? Ask me what you want to know. I will definitely not hide anything from you. Xiao Xian smiled and looked at Morong Yu. Morong Yu was instantly overjoyed. I can feel that all of you have surpassed the true god realm. Could it be that we are no longer in the primordial wilderness continent? What kind of place is the ghost realm? What kind of place is the ghost village? Morong Yu spoke out almost all of his doubts. Xiao Xian felt a headache coming on. Hee, big brother Morong, your strength isn't strong, but your senses are still very strong. Little Xian's strength isn't strong either, I'm just a heavenly god. Little Xian said with a smile. Morong Yu rolled his eyes. Heavenly god realm was not strong? If they went out of the ghost realm, they could sweep the entire primordial wilderness continent by themselves. The ghost village is indeed in the ghost realm, and the ghost realm is indeed in the primordial wilderness continent. As for our village, it is a very strong village. Big brother Morong, do you think our existence is strong? Are we strong? Xiao Xian smiled and said to Morong Yu. Morong Yu nodded. Although he did not know how strong the people here were, he felt that the ghost village was very strong. However, he had a feeling that the strength of this specter village was absolutely terrifying. Compared to the entire divine world, the specter village was probably not a weak force. Our ghost village is very strong. Many of the people in the village are outside. There are only a small number of people left in the village. Big brother, you must be shocked, right? Xiao Xian smiled proudly when she saw Morong Yu's shocked expression. Morong Yu was indeed shocked. Moreover, he knew that Xiao Xian did not know much. Moreover, she did not tell him everything. His intuition told him that the ghost village was an extremely terrifying existence. Big brother Morong, you are an ascender from the Yen Huang immortal realm, right? Uncle Lin is also from the Yen Huang immortal realm. He is in the village now. Shall we go and see him? Although Xiao Xian was asking Morong Yu, she had already grabbed Morong Yu's hand and walked away without Morong Yu's consent. This made Morong Yu speechless. However, he was still willing to go and see Uncle Lin. They were ascenders from the same immortal realm. They could be considered fellow villagers. Boom. However, when they were halfway there, an earth-shattering sound was heard. At this moment, Morong Yu even realized that the entire village was shaking as though there was an earthquake. Even the sky seemed to be shaking. Morong Yu was so shaken that his blood was boiling. He was almost sent flying and his face turned pale. At the same time, Morong Yu saw that the villagers of the ghost village, who originally looked like ordinary people, were emitting terrifying auras. One by one, they rushed to the sky and flew in the same direction. Oh no, the village is being attacked by demons again. Big brother, why don't you go back first? I will go and see if I can help. Xiao Xian said to Morong Yu anxiously. After which, she flew into the sky and left quickly. Demons attacking the village? Morong Yu's heart skipped a beat. Phantom light wings appeared on his back. After which, he flapped and flew in the direction of the loud sound. He wanted to see what kind of demon it was. More importantly, he wanted to know how strong the ghost village was. Chapter 8:23. Boom, boom, boom. A series of deafening sounds could be heard along with a huge impact. Even the void started to tremble. The buildings in the entire spirit village seemed to be shaking as well. What a terrifying impact! And this is because the spirit village has a huge protective shield. Murong Yu flapped his illusory light wings and flew at high speed. However, his blood and chi were in turmoil from the impact. Young man, the demonic beasts outside are powerful. You had better not go near. Hurry up and go back. Along the way, Murong Yu saw many people flitting past him. When these people saw Murong Yu transforming into wings and flying in the sky, they looked at Murong Yu in shock. However, they still advised Murong Yu not to go over. Murong Yu thanked these people for their kind intentions and continued to dash over. Not long after, he arrived at the place where the deafening sounds came from. At this moment, a large number of people had gathered in front of him. Outside, a gigantic demonic beast that was thousands of feet long was circling in the sky. It was roaring crazily and unleashing a terrifying force that was charging towards the spirit village. However, the force of the gigantic demonic beast did not hit the protective shield of the spirit village. Therefore, there were more than 10 experts circling in the void outside the protective shield. Some of them went close to the protective shield of the spirit village to prevent the residual force from hitting the protective shield. Another 7 to 8 people were engaged in a fierce battle with the gigantic demonic beast. Dragon! When Murong Yu saw the gigantic demonic beast, he could not help but exclaim. That was because it was a dragon. A black gigantic dragon. That's not a dragon. It's just a dragon beast. It's a monster that was born from the cross between the dragon race and the demonic beast. It's ferocious and loves to eat human flesh. A voice was heard. Murong Yu turned around and saw Xiao Xian flying towards him with a smile on her face. Brother Murong, you can actually form wings. You can fly in the realm of the gods even though you haven't formed a godhead. That's amazing. Looking at the huge wings on Murong Yu's back, Xiao Xian's eyes sparkled with a bright light. Her face was full of envy. Murong Yu nodded slightly. He did not even speak to Xiao Xian. His attention was completely focused on the battle outside. That dragon beast was extremely powerful. As he stood there, Murong Yu could sense that most of its aura had been blocked by the protective barrier of the spirit village. He almost felt like submitting to it. It was not that Murong Yu wanted to submit to a demonic beast, but that demonic beast's aura was simply too strong. Murong Yu even knew that without the protective shield of the ghost village, not to mention being tens of thousands of miles away from the dragon beast, he would not even be able to get close to it within a few billion miles. He might even be crushed into dust by the pressure of the dragon beast. Compared to the dragon beast, Ling Hu Changtian's peak true god realm power was nothing. With Ling Hu Changtian's strength, he would have been killed by this dragon beast's glare. Of course, Murong Yu's strength was not as good as Ling Hu Changtian's. This dragon beast is so strong. I wonder what realm it has reached. However, the 8 experts from the ghost village are not to be trifled with. They are actually fighting with the dragon beast, and they are not at a disadvantage. The battle in front was extremely far and fast. With Murong Yu's current strength, he could not see the details clearly. However, he also knew that the 8 powerhouses were only evenly matched with the dragon beast. In actual fact, Murong Yu could faintly feel that the 8 experts' strength should be about the same as the dragon beast. However, the dragon beast's body was simply too strong. Just a while ago, Murong Yu clearly saw an expert from the ghost village land a punch on the dragon beast's body. However, the dragon beast was only moved a few dozen miles away from the impact. However, the expert who attacked was sent flying by the rebounding force. The heavens fell and the earth cracked. The mountains and the earth were constantly flattened and shattered. Even the extremely sturdy void of the divine world was destroyed by them. It could be seen how terrifying their strength was. This is what a battle between experts should be like. Murong Yu's eyes flickered with excitement. He could not wait to rush up and fight with the dragon beast. However, he also knew that this was just a thought in his heart. Not to mention fighting with the dragon beast. As long as he stepped out of the protective shield of the ghost village, he would be shattered into pieces by the terrifying aura. Xiao Xian, what realm has the dragon beast reached? It is so terrifying. It should be the most powerful demonic beast in the ghost realm. Moreover, the ghost village seems to have many experts. Why don't they all go out and kill the dragon beast together? Murong Yu turned his head and asked Xiao Xian, who was watching the battle outside with great interest. You mean the dragon beast is the most powerful demonic beast in the ghost realm? Xiao Xian looked over and smiled, revealing her pair of dimples. She said, the dragon beast is just a low-level demonic beast in the ghost realm. There are many more that are stronger than it. Murong Yu almost fainted. This seemingly powerful dragon beast was just the lowest level demonic beast in the ghost realm? If the lowest level demonic beast was so powerful, then how powerful would the most powerful demonic beast be? The ghost realm was really terrifying. No wonder Linghu Changtian was so scared after knowing about the ghost realm. Any demonic beast that came out of the ghost realm was enough to wipe out a first-grade continent like the Yuan Huang continent. Even second-grade and third-grade continents could be wiped out. That middle-aged man is Uncle Lin. He is very powerful. Back then, he had a great battle with one of the most powerful demonic beasts in the ghost realm. He killed the most powerful demonic beast. Xiao Xian said proudly to a middle-aged man who was floating in the air outside the protective barrier. Murong Yu looked over and saw a very ordinary-looking man. He did not emit any powerful aura. However, this person was able to kill one of the most powerful demonic beasts in the ghost realm. Obviously, his strength was very terrifying. After all, if the ghost village wanted to survive in the depths of the ghost realm, there must be a powerhouse to hold the fort and deter those demonic beasts. And that Uncle Lin should be one of those super powerhouses. Xiao Xian, what realm is that dragon beast in? Murong Yu asked again. Big brother Murong, do you really want to know? Xiao Xian looked at Murong Yu with a smile and asked. Murong Yu nodded. I said, Big brother, you have to stand firm, okay? Xiao Xian smiled cutely at Murong Yu, then said, the dragon beast's realm is not strong. It's only at the overgod realm, but it's much stronger than Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian is no match for it at all. As she said that, Xiao Xian seemed a little depressed. Overgod realm. And it was not strong. Murong Yu almost fainted. One should know that in the god realm, there were a total of 10 major realms. From low to high they were deity, true god, heavenly god, and then the overgod realm. And after the deity realm was the sky realm. After entering the sky realm, one would be considered a true expert in the god realm. However, to Murong Yu, any true god was an expert. Because, now, any true god could kill him. No wonder its aura is so strong. So it's the overgod realm. And it's only the lowest level of demonic beast. Doesn't this mean that the powerful demonic beasts in the ghost realm have reached the highest realm in the god realm? Hee, big brother Murong, are you scared? But don't be discouraged. You ascenders have great potential. The god realm is your starting point. Uncle Lin was also an ascender back then. But now, he has become a super powerhouse. Xiao Xian smiled and comforted Murong Yu. Murong Yu was indeed scared. But it was just a scare. It could not affect him at all. If he was so easily affected, then there was no need to pursue the highest realm and the strongest power. Why didn't Uncle Lin do anything? With Uncle Lin's strength, he can easily suppress that crazy dragon beast, right? Murong Yu asked again. Xiao Xian shook her head. Big brother Murong, you're so stupid. These low-level demonic beasts are just right to train our warriors. This is a life-and-death battle. It's the best opportunity to train them. And let me tell you, every once in a while, the demonic beasts in the ghost realm will riot. Sometimes, thousands of demonic beasts will besiege the ghost village at the same time. Xiao Xian, what's going on in the ghost realm? That dragon beast seems to be a little different from normal ones. Morong Yu finally saw it. That terrifying demonic beast seemed to be controlled by someone. Or it could be said that the dragon beast had lost its mind. All the demonic beasts in the ghost realm are like this. Every once in a while they will go crazy. Also, many demonic beasts have lost their minds. We don't know what's the reason. Ghost realm. Could there really be ghosts in it? This thought suddenly appeared in Morong Yu's mind. Roar! At this moment, after a round of battle, the dragon beast was no match for the 8 overgod level experts of the ghost village. It started to be defeated. Once the dragon beast was defeated, the warriors of the ghost village really went crazy. They killed the dragon beast until it cried out loudly. In the end, the dragon beast even wanted to escape. However, the people of the ghost village would not let it escape so easily. From the moment it attacked the ghost village, it was destined to have only one ending: death. Finally, the 8 warriors unleashed their invincible might and killed the dragon beast with brute force. Then, the 3 of them grabbed the dragon beast and walked into the village. Big brother Morong, you're in luck. The dragon beast meat is very delicious. Today we can taste the dragon beast meat again. Thinking about the delicious dragon beast meat, I can't help but drool. Xiao Xian looked at the huge dragon beast with a greedy look. The dragon beast meat contains an extremely large amount of divine power. Eating a little will help you condense your godhood and strengthen your physical body. But remember, don't eat too much. Come to my house when you're free. We can have a good chat. Uncle Lin appeared beside Morong Yu and left after leaving this sentence. Chapter 8:24. This dragon beast meat is indeed delicious. At night, everyone in the village gathered together to eat the flesh of the overgod level dragon beast they had just killed today. As he ate, Morong Yu exclaimed in admiration. He'd never eaten such delicious meat before. Moreover, Morong Yu realized that the dragon beast meat was not only delicious. The dragon beast meat contained a large amount of divine power. In addition to divine power, it also contained other surging powers. Morong Yu had just eaten the dragon beast meat when the energy contained in the dragon beast meat spread to his limbs and bones, making his body closer to a divine body. A divine body was the transformation of a mortal to a god. In fact, Morong Yu's chaotic celestial body was many times stronger than a divine body. However, the chaotic celestial body also needed to grow. For example, Morong Yu's current physical body was many times stronger than a quasi-god's, but it was not as good as a divine body. This was because the chaotic celestial body had not yet grown to a higher level. If the chaotic celestial body wanted to continue growing, it would require Morong Yu to become even stronger. Therefore, eating this dragon beast meat was extremely beneficial to the growth of his physical body. Xiao Xian, why aren't you eating? After Morong Yu ate a few large pieces of dragon beast meat, he realized that Xiao Xian had only eaten a small piece and stopped eating. Therefore, Morong Yu was puzzled. One must know that the dragon beast was thousands of feet long and was enough to fill the stomach of tens of thousands of people in the ghost village. However, Morong Yu realized that many people present had only eaten a little and stopped eating. Is it not delicious? Xiao Xian, didn't you say it was delicious? Morong Yu asked as he ate another piece of dragon beast meat. However, he did not notice Xiao Xian. Even the people around him were looking at him strangely. What's wrong? Soon, Morong Yu felt everyone's surprised eyes. He thought that he had eaten too much, and that was why they were reacting this way. Thus, he said embarrassedly, "Isn't it because dragon meat is delicious? Big brother Morong, you've eaten so much dragon meat. Don't you feel anything wrong with your body?" Xiao Xian could not help but ask. Murong Yu was startled. He quickly checked his body, but he didn't find anything out of the ordinary. Thus, he looked at Xiao Xian curiously and asked, "Is there something wrong with eating dragon meat? But I don't feel anything strange." As he spoke, Murong Yu looked at the others. "Young man, your body is different from ordinary people. If it were an ordinary quasi-god expert, even if he only ate a little bit of dragon beast meat, his body wouldn't be able to withstand it and would explode." At this time, an uncle beside him explained to Murong Yu. However, the uncle's eyes kept sizing up Murong Yu's body, making Murong Yu's hair stand on end. It couldn't be helped. Being stared at by a man like this, it would be strange if Murong Yu didn't have this kind of reaction. Unless he was some kind of comrade. "We forgot that you're just a quasi-god. But you eat pretty fast. We just realized that you've already eaten a few kilograms of dragon beast meat. However, don't force yourself. If you feel that there's something wrong with your body, we're here. I guarantee that nothing will happen to you." The middle-aged uncle continued. Murong Yu finally understood. Dragon beasts were super experts at the overgod realm. Even a small piece of meat contained an enormous amount of energy. Even heavenly deity realm powerhouses did not dare to eat too much. Take Xiao Xian for example. She only ate a small piece. Even so, she needs some time to refine the energy contained in this small piece of meat. Only people who were at the overgod realm would not be harmed by the energy contained in the dragon beast meat. Of course, the energy contained in the dragon beast meat was of no use to them. They would just eat it as an ordinary delicacy to satisfy their cravings. "Maybe it's because of my body," Murong Yu said, a little embarrassed. He didn't expect his body to be so strong. However, he also knew that although his physical body was strong, there was a limit to it. If he exceeded his limit, Murong Yu would explode and die. "Since your body can take it, you might as well eat more. It's good for your divine body. However, remember not to exceed your limit." The uncle left after a few words of advice. Xiao Xian looked at Murong Yu with twinkling eyes. "Brother Murong, is your body really that strong? If you break through to the heavenly god realm, how terrifying will you be? If only my physical body was as strong as yours." Murong Yu only smiled and continued to eat a few large pieces of dragon beast meat. After that, he stopped eating. Although he hadn't reached his limit, Murong Yu didn't want to eat too much. "Xiao Xian, I'll go back first. I'll hurry up and refine my divine body and godhead." After saying goodbye to Xiao Xian and the others, Murong Yu returned to his house. It was the small courtyard where he was recuperating previously. After witnessing the strength of the dragon beast and the people of Spirit Village, Murong Yu was greatly pressured. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that the people of Spirit Village, even a child, could easily defeat Murong Yu. It could be said that Murong Yu was the weakest person in the entire village. Although no one in Spirit Village looked down on Murong Yu, on the contrary, many people were optimistic about Murong Yu's future. However, this kind of strength at the lowest level still gave Murong Yu a lot of pressure. Strength was everything. After returning, Murong Yu immediately went into seclusion. However, he didn't cultivate immediately. Instead, he started to contact Hichu, Luoshu and the Heavenly Punishment Order. However, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't contact Hichu, Luoshu and the Heavenly Punishment Order. This made him a little depressed. If he didn't know that they were still in his body, Murong Yu would have thought that the two of them had left him. "Without Hichu Luoshu, I can't teleport at any time. When I'm in danger, I can't enter Hichu Luoshu to hide temporarily. I can't bring people from the immortal realm to immortal realm. I can't accelerate time and I can't refine pills in large quantities." Murong Yu then realized how important Hichu Luoshu was to him. Almost everything couldn't be done without Hichu Luoshu. Even the Heavenly Punishment Order couldn't be compared to Hichu Luoshu's importance. Although the heavenly punishment order could allow him to kill villains, earn points, exchange them for various treasures, and even raise his cultivation level directly. However, he could forego the treasures and raise his cultivation level by himself. However, he couldn't do without Hichu Luoshu's various functions. Could it be because I'm not powerful enough? If that's the case, then it's even more important to raise my strength. Murong Yu pondered in his heart and began to refine his body. When Murong Yu calmed down, he realized that his body had become much stronger. The dragon meat that he had eaten was absorbed by the tree of life. After being refined, it was fed back to Murong Yu's body. After being refined, the energy became purer. Under the refinement of these energies, Murong Yu's body became stronger and stronger. He believed that in less than a year's time, his body would completely transform into a divine body. However, what he was worried about now was that he didn't know how to condense a godhead. Xiao Xian, let me ask you something. Murong Yu cultivated for half a day, but he still couldn't find a way. In the end, he thickened his skin and looked for Xiao Xian. Brother Murong, what's the matter? I'm a know-it-all. If there's anything you don't know, just come to me if you need to know something. Xiao Xian patted her still young and underdeveloped chest and said loudly. How do I condense a godhead? Murong Yu felt a little embarrassed. However, in order to raise his strength, he still asked. As the saying goes, one must have a teacher. If one doesn't know, one should ask. Ha ha ha. After hearing Murong Yu's words, Xiao Xian was stunned at first. Then, she laughed out loud. She laughed so hard that she swayed back and forth. She looked very unhappy. However, Murong Yu stared at Xiao Xian awkwardly. He wanted to smack her head. However, this was only his thought. Even if he dared to smack Xiao Xian's head, with his strength, he might not be able to do it. After all, Xiao Xian was a heavenly god. Brother Murong, you're so stupid. You don't even know this? Murong Yu rolled his eyes. If he knew, would he still need to ask? This was a classic example of bullshit. Seeing Murong Yu's expression, Xiao Xian finally had enough of laughing. Thus, she explained, if you want to condense a godhead, you must first understand the godhead. There is actually not only one type of godhead. In fact, there are millions of them. However, they are mainly divided into the 5 elements godheads of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Other than that, there are also the light, darkness, wind, and poison godheads. There are even the legendary godheads of various laws. For example, the space godhead, the time godhead, the lightning divinity, and so on. That's right. In the god realm, the most common godheads are the 5 elements, light, darkness, and so on. Of course, in the god realm, there are as many gods as there are grains of sand in the Ganges River. Although other types of godheads are rare, there are still some. There are only godheads that you can't imagine. There are no godheads that don't exist. The key to determining the attribute of each godhead is the person's physique and comprehension when condensing the godhead. Some people, when condensing the godhead, comprehend the mysteries of wind. Then, they can condense the godhead of wind. If they comprehend other mysteries, they can also condense other types of godheads. Moreover, each type of godhead will have an additional effect when they use that type of cultivation technique. For example, if your godhead is of the fire element and your cultivation technique is of the fire element, then you will be able to unleash the full power of that cultivation technique. Of course, the power of the cultivation technique still depends on the strength of the user. Brother Murong, I haven't finished speaking. Why are you leaving? How can you be so rude? Could it be that you've comprehended something? Xiao Xian was speaking with assurance when she suddenly saw Murong Yu turn around and leave. Thus, she was a little angry. Chapter 825. Murong Yu had indeed comprehended something. In reality, Xiao Xian had said so much, but there was only one meaning. To condense a god lattice, one had to comprehend all sorts of laws. Only by comprehending the profoundness of all sorts of laws would one be able to condense a God lattice. Of course, Morong Yu did not think that everyone in God world had comprehended all sorts of laws. For example, would someone with a wind attribute God lattice be able to control the laws of wind? That was impossible. Morong Yu guessed that they would at most be able to obtain the recognition of the laws of wind. Or rather, they would only be able to borrow a portion of the power of the laws of wind. After all, there were simply too few people who could grasp a law. However, it was different for Morong Yu. After returning to his house, Morong Yu immediately set up a restriction outside his house. Of course, this restriction would not be able to stop the people from Spectre Village. He did not set up this restriction to stop the people from Spectre Village. The reason why he set up this restriction was because he wanted to tell others that he was in seclusion and not to disturb him if there was nothing important. This was because Morong Yu already knew how to condense a God lattice. However, at this moment, he started to ponder. My control of the laws of space has definitely surpassed everyone else. It is very easy to condense a space attribute God lattice. Once I condense a space attribute God lattice, my understanding of the laws of space would rise to another level. The power of all sorts of combat techniques under the laws of space would definitely increase. However, my understanding of the laws of lightning is also not bad. Morong Yu was originally able to control the lightning tribulation and could summon boundless lightning tribulation at any time. Moreover, after he became the Lord of Immortal World, he researched lightning beasts and other lightning attribute demonic beasts. It could be said that although his understanding of the laws of lightning was not as good as the laws of space, it definitely surpassed the majority of people. The most important thing is my own physique. Primal chaos is the origin of all laws. Primal chaos is the strongest existence, and there is no other. Even the laws of time and space are far inferior to primal chaos. What was primal chaos? Within primal chaos there was no time, no space, no metal, wood, water, fire, earth, etc. There was only boundless primal chaos. The power of primal chaos ruled over everything. Then I shall condense the primal God lattice. If the primal chaos God lattice was formed, wouldn't the primal chaos God lattice be several times stronger than the laws of space and time? It should be a monarch godhead. Morong Yu laughed mischievously in his heart as he began to condense his godhead. If he wanted to condense a godhead, then he had to comprehend the corresponding rules and communicate with it. After obtaining its approval, he could use his power to condense a godhead. Moreover, only after passing the divine tribulation would a quasi-god in the god realm be able to condense a godhead. Generally speaking, godhood resides in the heart, Yang Qi said. It was for Godheart. However, one's body would often crumble in battle. Once the godhead was destroyed or taken away, one would instantly become a powerless cripple no matter how powerful one was. I wonder if I can condense my godhood in other places? It seems that the soul space is pretty good. The soul space was the best protected place. If even his soul space was shattered, he wouldn't be far from death. I'll condense the godhead in my soul space. Morong Yu pondered for a moment, then began to communicate with the power of chaos to condense a godhead. It's a pity that I can't use these god veins and god crystals. Morong Yu looked at the storage ring on his finger and sighed. Previously, Xiao Xian had given him a storage ring. There wasn't much in it, only god veins and god crystals. If he wanted to condense a godhead and god body, he would have to expend a large amount of energy. Otherwise, without sufficient energy, he wouldn't be able to condense a godhead. This was also the tragedy of many ascenders. They had just ascended and had nothing in the god realm. Therefore, it was extremely difficult for them to condense a godhead. Of course, if they joined a big sect or faction, it would be different. The Tree of Life will do. Tree of Life, communicate with the infinite chaos for me. Morong Yu roared in his heart. The tree of life's roots, which were as numerous as the sand in the Ganges River, began to tremble violently. While absorbing the power of chaos to replenish Murong Yu's body, it also communicated with the infinite chaos. What was chaos? Murong Yu's previous understanding was that chaos was just a kind of energy. Before the world was opened, the vitality had yet to be divided and was in a blurry state. Murong Yu's mind was divided into countless parts. Following the roots of the tree of life, he entered the depths of chaos. At this moment, Murong Yu finally saw the exact appearance of chaos. It was boundless. Here, there was nothing but eternal darkness. Here, he couldn't feel the flow of time, nor could he feel space, length, height, or height. There were also no so-called rules. In this place, apart from the black chaos, there was nothing else. As for the so-called world, whether it was the God realm or the immortal world, it was just a small space that was opened up in the infinite chaos. In the entire chaos, the world that was opened up was just a space that could be ignored. Big. No limit. It was really endless. Murong Yu's mind was immediately shocked. After circling around the infinite chaos, Murong Yu gradually came to a realization. Whether it is time, space, or other rules, or the existence of layers and layers of matter, they are all derived from chaos. Chaos is the beginning of all things. Without chaos there is nothing. Chaos gives birth to all things, and can also destroy all things, returning them to chaos. Chaos is above everything and dominates the world. In the face of primal chaos, all laws and powers are merely his subjects. They can only submit. The rules of chaos are the most powerful, and there is no other. Chaos is infinite, infinitely big, truly boundless. At this moment, Murong Yu entered a state of enlightenment. Then, his mind seemed to be connected with the infinite chaos, and became infinitely big, encompassing everything, and above everything. At this moment, Murong Yu's mind also began to undergo a tremendous change. It grew rapidly, gradually approaching the infinity of the primal chaos, the concept of infinity. His heart was infinitely big. This was a kind of state of mind, and a mental state. If he could really reach this state, his cultivation would definitely be smooth sailing, and there would be no barriers. As long as he had enough power, he could continue to break through. At the same time, the tree of life also trembled rapidly, and it began to grow rapidly in Murong Yu's dantian. Every time the tree of life grew, the amount of energy it absorbed would increase exponentially. The tree of life purified the primal chaos energy into Murong Yu's dantian, and then it flowed through countless meridians and rushed into Murong Yu's soul space. Countless primal chaos energy began to spontaneously condense together, and then it continued to compress. Gradually, it turned from gas to liquid and then from liquid to solid. After an unknown amount of time had passed, a rectangular solid object that was 2 fingers wide and as long as a finger suddenly appeared in Murong Yu's spiritual space. This was Murong Yu's God Lattice, the primal chaos God Lattice, the first primal chaos God Lattice in history. From afar, the primal chaos God Lattice quietly floated in Murong Yu's soul space, and it was like an eternal black. At the same time, the God Lattice faintly emitted an extremely powerful and terrifying aura. However, if one took a closer look, it seemed as though the primal chaos God Lattice didn't exist. However, if one didn't take a closer look, one would be able to sense the existence of the primal chaos God Lattice. The primal chaos God Lattice was between existence and non-existence. It seemed extremely mysterious. Rumble. Suddenly, at the moment Murong Yu formed the God Lattice, the sky above Spectre Village exploded with a deafening thunder. The terrifying and loud sound shocked countless experts in Spectre Village. Following which, they realized that the entire Spectre Village, and even a large part of the sky nearby, had been covered by endless black tribulation clouds. Tribulation lightning constantly brewed in the tribulation clouds, and streaks of terrifying might of heaven and earth were constantly emitted, suppressing and intimidating everything. Heavenly tribulation. Countless people in Spectre Village walked out of their houses and looked at the endless tribulation clouds in the sky. Their faces were filled with shock and uncertainty. To experts at Uncle Lin's level, the might of heaven and earth emitted by the tribulation clouds might not be worth mentioning. However, what they were shocked about was who had triggered the heavenly tribulation. One must know that in the realm of the gods, only those with heaven-defying aptitudes and talents could trigger the heavenly tribulation when they were cultivating or breaking through. There was no lack of people with heaven-defying aptitudes in Spectre Village. However, there were very few people who could trigger the heavenly tribulation. Who was it? At this moment, everyone looked at the center of the tribulation clouds. Could it be Morong-yu? Everyone's figures flashed, and soon, they arrived outside Morong-yu's house. At this moment, Xiao Xian was outside Morong-yu's house, looking at Morong-yu in shock. It's really this kid who triggered the heavenly tribulation. Could it be that he has already formed the God Lattice? How long has it been since he ascended? It hasn't even been half a month, right? Everyone was shocked, and their faces were filled with disbelief. For those who ascended or those who had undergone the heavenly tribulation in the realm of the gods, with sufficient resources, they would need at least 100 years to condense the God Lattice. For those who did not have any resources, they would spend thousands of years or even more without being able to condense the God Lattice. This was a common occurrence. Condensing the God Lattice was not difficult, and everyone who had undergone the God's tribulation could do so. However, to be able to condense the God Lattice in a few days was simply too shocking. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.